Parts for all unit and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. Professional parts people you can trust.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy for a Friday edition. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And the Sportsocracy is heard everywhere around the world on the iHeartRadio app. We can be seen live or on demand as well on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe, join us in the chat. Get all the alerts when we go live, and of course, your feed will populate with all of our team-by-team content. 3-round mock drafts. They're making their way out.
Today is officially a day where we add something new that probably should have been around the whole time to Jeremy's food pyramid of things that keep him alive.
Okay.
We've always had 4. Well, today we have 5. Now it's nicotine, protein, caffeine, alcohol, and anger.
Yes.
Because I have been here since 4:45 this morning.
It's a long time. It's a long day. It's a long day. And, I mean, congratulations. Congratulations to Cowboy John Roten on his retirement and his marriage this morning on News Radio 570 WWNC.
We had practically everybody that's worked in this building for the last 25 years, and we can definitively say that is the first time we have ever seen a wedding live on air, and it was flawless.
Yeah.
It worked perfectly.
Mark Starling is, if you're getting married at some point in the near future, Mark Starling might not be a bad guy to get to do your nuptials.
Oh, no doubt. He's fantastic doing the ceremony. He's actually doing Amy and I's ceremony. And I think we just completely honed in on how to live stream a wedding. So that's the thing we know now.
There you go.
If you have a lot of people that can't attend your nuptials, Mark Starling and I are now starting a mullet and gnome wedding spectacular.
Nice. Look for the wedding episode of the Sportsocracy on May the 20th.
Oh, yeah. And our logo is going to be a little gnome, which is Mark Starling, with a flowing moulet, which is me.
Nice. Very nice. Yes. Once again, congratulations. I walked into the studio today, and there was a homeless guy on the floor, and I went, what? My first question was, oh, God, what happened to the computers? And then when he didn't respond, I had to go and check, is he still breathing?
Or did he actually die?
He's got his Sportsocracy sweatshirt up under his head. This was intentional.
Yeah, he did this on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to. If you think you can pull an all-nighter, let me tell you at 36 years old how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
You get to noon and go, I got 4 choices. I'm either going to take a nap, I'm going to quit, I'm going to fake my own death, or I'm going to go home. I chose nap. So
napping is a good choice.
And I will say, the floor at Radio Ranch, not a lot of padding.
Not
so,
very forgiving.
I'm more malleable than I think I am, but it's still a little worse for the wear after that nap.
Yeah, no. You wouldn't have been able to get me off the floor. See,
no,
that's the difference between 36 and 40.
I mean, I will be more bendy at 40 than you were at 25. So there's no doubt about that.
Hey, I'm very flexible.
Yeah, by comparison here, the athleticism of this show comes from the mulleted side of the table.
Does it, though? It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and we welcome everybody into the chat with us here on a Friday. That is the best way to get in touch with the program immediately is through the chat. So get on, subscribe to YouTube so you can join us, and we can always highlight the best comments throughout each and every show. We got a lot to get into here. Some good basketball last night. We've got football things on the docket today. You know what that means. It's time for the opening drive, which is brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. They will, they keep me driving happier than I've been in many, many years. And you can do the same. All you got to do is go over to Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, 629 Brevard Road, or you can, set up an appointment to go in and talk with them about your potential purchase of a new car at andersonnissan.com. And you can, whether you're in the market for a brand new vehicle or a certified pre-owned, mention the Sportsocracy, and they'll give you $250 on top of your trade-in value.
I am still in my phenomenal 2023 Pro 4X Nissan Titan, which I am getting more and more convinced that I just don't ever want to give back, because everywhere I go, we had 1 million cars here today. And for the first time in my life, now we have not had one of these little events since Fred has so nicely been giving me cars. But for the first time, I had the nicest car in the parking lot. It wasn't even close.
Right. Virtually
every person that's because I was parked like a jerk. First of all, it's what initiated the conversation, because I got here at 4:45, parked a little sideways. But as soon as they said, "Hey, who is the jerk that parked sideways?" they would follow it with that very beautiful truck that is we didn't want to ding, so we didn't park anywhere near.
Right.
And that is because I went to Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. You can too, 629 Brevard Road. Tell them the formerly fat guys of the Sportsocracy sent you.
All right, college basketball went exactly how I thought it was going to last night.
I got a lot right.
Is what a lie sounds like, because everything I think went the exact opposite of how I thought it was going to go, except for the Kansas State-Michigan State game, which was amazing.
It was awesome. And the bad thing is, after a night like that, and yes, we have to start with college basketball here. We know we're a football show. Last night put on the main stage. And then if you looked to the diocese after the games were over, to the press conferences, 4 of the 8 coaches looked to the NCAA and said, what just happened tonight is why you have to get involved. Because these players need to be paid directly from the schools. Mm-hmm. That we've already jumped that shark. That's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice a commonality between UCLA, Gonzaga, Michigan State, Kansas State? Did you notice something about those 4 teams? It was a phenomenal set of basketball games.
Very, very veteran-laden
They're
teams.
very old.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of random freshmen playing more than 12 minutes. Weird. And then you look at Arkansas, they got beat like a kettle drum.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ugly to watch, and it was unentertaining. And of the 4 games, that's the only one that I didn't watch more than 5 minutes of.
Yeah.
Because I knew where that was headed well before it ever happened.
I did not. I thought that would be a good game. It was not. All of the other ones were decent. Florida Atlantic, Mylanta. I mean, if you were just, it's a school named after, an owl. Yeah, they can't compete with a big Power 5 school. Yeah, they did. They did, and they handled Tennessee.
Yeah, they did. And I am looking at this going, you know what? And Mick Cronin said this as well as I've ever heard anybody put it. Every business that you've ever watched die has at some point said, well, we've always done it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Major League Baseball. Well, we've always done it that way. Well, times change, puddin' pants, and it's time to adhere to the times. And the NCAA, I'm telling you right now, if you don't get with it, I could see a path. Right now, you have a sport that starts the first week of November. You have devalued this schedule to such a point, you get 4 days out of a 365-day-a-year calendar. Because I got news for you. This Final Four is not going to sell. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good the basketball is, because you're going to have Kansas State, most likely, and Creighton, and, okay, Texas is a name, Gonzaga's a name, but does that sell? No, because you hedged your bets on selling blue bloods, when in all reality, what happened last night is the best thing you do. UCLA Gonzaga was phenomenal. Kansas State, Michigan State was phenomenal. But you know what you don't see freshmen do? little Noel, the point guard for Kansas State, looks to his coach, looks at Isaiah Thomas in the crowd, fakes a little fight with his coach, throws up a 2, hits an alley-oop that nobody sees coming, which is one of the best plays I've ever seen. And it may have not been the best play he had in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Right. That little bounce pass that he did from well beyond NBA 3-point range into the paint for the bucket in the last few moments of that game. I think 50 seconds left, something like that. That was a phenomenal pass, and I went, this kid's incredible.
It was great basketball. But here's the problem. I would wager the numbers are not going to be great, no matter how good it was.
No, because, names.
And
names
here's why.
sell.
I heard on the Dan Patrick Show earlier today when I went to get lunch at 9:30 this morning. It's an uncomfortable time to have your lunch hour. Caller calls in, Dan Patrick asks one very simple question. What's the second best rivalry in college basketball? And they all looked at each other, and you know what answer they gave?
What?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Duke, Carolina, end of message, repeat the line. I've thought about this all day. I can't come up with 2. Because the answer I want to say is UCLA Gonzaga, and they've played 3 times in 20 or 17 years.
Right. Wow.
Because that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
But Michigan, Ohio State, they've never been good at the same time for the last 20 years.
No. I'm trying to think sheer basketball rivalries.
Yeah,
I've always looked at the Big East as one big rivalry in and of itself.
And now none of them play Syracuse, so now you've got a lot of Creighton and Xavier and Providence.
And it's good, but
it's good, but nobody watches it,
right?
Because the Georgetown Syracuse days are gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. Patrick Holt said probably State Carolina. I'm not going to lie to you. That's not a terrible answer. I don't agree with it, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't. He may be right.
Because outside of this state, the state we're in, the state of North Carolina, is the one place that cares about this sport.
Mm-hmm.
And they care about it in large part no matter what happens. I mean, yes, it's better if Carolina, Duke, NC State, Wake Forest are involved in things.
Right.
I would wager we have the highest rating of any state in the country. But you have no rivalries. You have no players that anyone knows. And now is the time to do exactly what I've been calling for since the first day we did this show on Saturdays on 570 WWNC 6 years ago. If you don't learn the lesson, I said it 6 years ago, and I'm going to say it now. This one-and-done thing is over. Stop waiting on the NBA to put their foot on your head. Decide it for them.
Yep.
If you come to school, you're here 3 years. Period. Because I want more of what I saw last night from Kansas State, Michigan State, Gonzaga, and UCLA, and exponentially less of what I saw of Arkansas. Mm-hmm. That was a joke. That was an AAU squad that came up against a vet UConn team, and they beat them like a kettle drum. Now, fun story of the 8 teams that played last night, the 3 highest players that will be drafted in this draft all play at Arkansas. Weird. That's the one team that got smoked like a deli meat. Mm-hmm. You can learn the lesson or you can die on the vine. It's totally up to you. And when these numbers come down, it'll be sometime later today or tomorrow, you're going to see that I'm right. Basketball was great. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Us, the loyal, diehard fans, we cared.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, like I said, it was a phenomenal night of basketball, and I think contracts are the only way to go. I honestly believe that contracts we have to throw out the amateurism model. You have to throw out all of this stance against and I know people are going to rankle when I say this. Yeah, see, I got it in the show today.
Yeah, bingo.
I
got a few things I'm going to get in the show today that might not have the same reaction.
The opposition to the unionization and all of that of the players, like this is over. These guys need to be employees. So you name them employees of the school so you can have more control over their movement.
Yeah, because now it's the Wild Wild West.
Absolutely.
You've got guys that are staying in school for 6 years or they're staying in school for 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. Drew Timme last night. I think he's been at Gonzaga since I was in college.
Yep. I have always been a supporter of the ability for players to be able to move in college basketball.
I'm not.
Not without limits, though. That's where I always went was, I didn't want this.
No.
I didn't want just up in the offseason, one guy can go, I want to go play for Oklahoma, and then immediately, boom, there he is on Oklahoma's team.
900
for no
players.
reason.
900 players in D1 college basketball are already in the transfer portal. The season's not even over yet.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to tell you this. When you said freedom of movement, yep, that's beautiful in thought. But anytime you give an inch, a mile will be taken.
Absolutely.
And so now you have to take your sport back, or your sport's not going to exist. Because I have this beautiful little thing called Twitter and Google Trends and things like that tell me what people are talking about. And last night, it was you to a point, but not the point you'd want it to be, not the point it should have been. When I get two of the best games I've seen in the last 10 years, and I love this sport. That was two of the best games I've seen in the last 10 years. And it was getting out-tweeted by a pro day.
I wish I could have been awake. I wish I could have been awake for the end of the Gonzaga UCLA
I had to be here at 4:45,
game.
and I stayed up to watch every second of it.
I couldn't do it.
Thankfully, Brian Haynes said, hey, you need some help tomorrow? And I said, yes, and we will be accountability buddies, and we will make sure that we're awake with text messages and, hey, be awake.
Yep.
Because we had to watch every second of that game. And it was sad to me to look around the country and go, a fraction of you even know it happened.
Yeah. College basketball is in they're in a tight spot. Again, always a proponent of player movement and paying the players and all of that, but not without limits. And that's where we're at with this current NIL and transfer portal situation. And yeah, Mick Cronin did say it best. Every failed business at some point has said, we've always done it this way.
The typewriter industry at one point was the most profitable industry in America. Do you know where to buy one of those right now? No, because this is how we've always done it. And then along came IBM, and along came Apple, and the best typewriter salesperson on the planet was in the unemployment line.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingles, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingles,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Don't miss the factory-authorized clearance at Sonny's Camp and Travel. All 2022 RVs must go. Look for the blue tags with clearance pricing up to 40% off on America's favorite brands. Hurry. When the tags are gone, so are the savings. Get 40% off at the factory-authorized clearance at Sonny's Camp and Travel, a Blue Compass RV company. Visit Sonny'sRV.com. Example 22 Braxton Creek Free Solo, number SI 1026, MSRP 22,222. See dealer for details.
The Sportsocracy.
Gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
2 last-second shots deciding the games, or 2 of the games last night in the Sweet 16.
Did it hurt your soul to see the Chris Jenkins play used again?
No.
Because it's exactly what Gonzaga did.
And that, I mean, it works.
It does work.
Look, it works, and if I could have done it, I would have done it. Like, no, it doesn't really hurt me all that much. I'm kind of, I've always been that way with the Villanova thing. Like, good for them. Good for you hitting that shot. And I felt the same way about Gonzaga last night. Even though I had UCLA in my Final Four.
I had UCLA listen to UNCA. So for me, I was like,
He's like, I don't care.
If you're playing in our bracket challenge, you should be adamantly rooting against me tonight.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting about the middle of the pack. I have all 4 teams in tonight's action.
Kansas State and Michigan State went into overtime. It was a hell of a flurry at the end of regulation of that game, and then the overtime period was just back and forth. It was awesome.
The player in me misses playing in. I mean, I never played it in Madison Square Garden or anything like that.
Right.
I miss playing in back and forth games like that. And the old coach in me goes, I don't think my heart could take that now. I don't think I'm as virile as Jerome Tang.
We still have a Cinderella alive in Florida Atlantic as they took down the Tennessee Volunteers. And then UConn demolished Arkansas, which did hurt my heart a little bit because I am a huge Eric Musselman fan.
The Muscle Man.
And that made it even better. Like, after he took his shirt off after the round of 32 game, I was like, yes, he is a god among men. Him and Mick Cronin are probably my 2 of my favorite head coaches in college basketball.
And then he got absolutely just blistered.
So my question now is, Jeremy, which of tonight's games do you think will be like the thrillers from last night?
All of them except Creighton and Princeton.
Okay.
The Blue Jays are going to smoke.
All
Princeton
coming down to the last shot, or some.
I can't say they're all going to come down to the last shot, but the lines are too high.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the hour, I'll give you my bangers of the night. But just if you're a lapsed college basketball fan, if you're not a college basketball fan, and you're planning on being home tonight, let me give you a reason to watch every one of these games. All right, Alabama, they have a coach named Nate Oates. His philosophy, and I'll be honest with you, I've studied this quite deeply just in case I ever got back into coaching. There's 2 kinds of shots. In the paint, behind the three-point line. San Diego State, number 1 team in America at stopping at opponent three-point percentage. That is going to be a good old-fashioned rock fight.
And if the Alabama Crimson Tide aren't hitting the shots from long range, San Diego State's got a chance.
They do have they have more of a chance than people want to let on.
Okay.
I mean, look, Alabama has the best player in college basketball, which is, I mean, we're at a point that just wins.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was a team they didn't want to see, it would be San Diego State. Trust me, they were cheering harder for Furman than anybody. I love Bob Ritchie. I love Jalen Slauson.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama would have just – they'd have given anything in their power to have avoided San Diego State.
Right.
Now, if you're not big into defense or you just like a lot of scoring, the next game's for you. Miami, with a roster that is bought and paid for, and that is not a spicy take, it's just the truth, and you're allowed to do it, so I'm not even throwing shade.
No.
Goes up against Houston, another of the best scoring teams in the country.
Yeah, it's going to be a show and a half.
Well, that'll be a track meet.
Marcus Sasser, to me, is one of the best players in the country and widely regarded as one of the best players in the country. I like that Houston Cougars team, and I said when the tournament started, there's going to be one ACC team that makes a deep run.
Miami.
And it's Miami.
Mm-hmm. They're the best team in the conference, and I didn't think it was all that close.
Mm-hmm. So I think that one will go down to the wire as well. I have Houston winning it personally.
I don't.
But really?
No.
Didn't allow your FSU fandom to overshadow reality.
Look,
I like that.
Here's where my loyalties in life go. All right, family, wife, children, etc. All of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Anderson, Nissan, Ingles, Clarissa Hyatt, Zach. My money. That's 3.
Yeah.
So I don't care how bad I hate Miami. I'm looking at that game going, those first 2 games are huge money games. BetUs.com promo code Sportsocracy. They will match your initial deposit at up to 125% just for using our promo code.
And it is, thankfully, at 6:01, we can bolt out the door and be hopefully at home and cozy and comfortable, ready for the 6:30 tip-off for Alabama and San Diego State. You got 7:15 is the start time for Miami and Houston.
Then you can probably skip that 9 o'clock game because Creighton is going to annihilate Princeton.
Yeah.
The backdoor cover scares me a little bit, but there's a reason they're 10-point favorites. Because this is a deep team. They do everything well. And Princeton, it has been super cute.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
at some
good
point,
for you.
At some point, all good things must come to an end. And this is probably the end of Princeton's run. However, I said the same thing or would have said the same thing yesterday about Florida Atlantic. So,
well, that one didn't make any sense. How the biggest team left in the tournament got out-rebounded by a bunch of dudes that are my size, that will never make sense to me.
Think they wish they had Drew Pember still?
Possibly. And then
Can't have him. He's ours.
And then you get Xavier in Texas at the end of the night, which probably decides the fate of Rodney Terry and the future of the Texas program. Texas should win that game.
Mm-hmm.
If they had Chris Beard, I would feel really confident that they were going to. They have Rodney Terry, who spent 10 years as a head coach and was never good.
Mm-hmm. So he hasn't done enough to you to prove that he
I don't care if he wins
the
a national championship. I wouldn't give him the job.
Really?
You could win the national title by 40 points, and I would still look at Rodney and go, thank you for all that you did. And now we're going to call John Calipari, who's a big boy coach.
Okay.
You
if you're trading him in for that, okay.
You went 17-13 4 times at Fresno State. And now I'm going to give you one of the top 10 most prestigious jobs in the country? Yeah, no, I'll pass. Plus, Lil Birdie told me they've already called Jay Wright, and Jay Wright listened.
Of course he did.
But that game will be interesting because Texas has the better talent. Xavier has the better coach. Which one wins out? Yeah. So this is a good night of college basketball. I know that's a tough sell for our very football-heavy audience.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if it's this or Blue Bloods and you just DVR Blue Bloods, you watch that tomorrow. And if you're planning on watching 1923, let me just give you a piece of advice. Don't.
No, do. But watch 1883 first, like Tank has told you since you first asked.
It's funny you said that. You mentioned that I was asleep under my desk when you got here. Do you know what put me to sleep? I turned on 1883 and went out.
That's ignorance.
That's
pure ignorance speaking.
Actually, that's a lie. I just let Harrison Ford talk. I found an interview with him and 8 seconds in.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And coming up after the break, we'll get just a bit outside, and there's a brand new face in Charlotte, North Carolina.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a warm day, no surprise, we have a warm night in store. We're looking at low temperatures around 59, 60 as we head into Saturday morning, and that is closer to our average high for this time of year. This warmth does add fuel to the storms, and we're tracking storms for tomorrow morning. Right on the edge of severe potential, our greatest threat looks to be gusty winds. On the other side, we are a touch cooler, our highs Saturday mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Rachel Kay with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big. Now get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends 4/15. Visit staples.com/printbig for details. This is your side that tries Staples, where your prints are perfect, guaranteed.
When emergencies strike, firefighters are there to stand strong and answer the call. Start or continue a high-octane and rewarding career with the Hendersonville Fire Department. HFD offers competitive pay, fantastic benefits, and the foundation for a meaningful work-life balance. If you value integrity, service to your community, and working with a professional team, apply today. Now hiring full-time and part-time Hendersonville firefighter EMT positions. Unlock your best life at www.hvlnc.gov/jobs. Live here, serve here.
Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take us with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations and playlists all free. Download our radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and it is a sad fact for all Detroit Lions fans that Detroit has never won a Super Bowl. Interestingly enough, though, the city of Detroit has always, been represented at the Super Bowl by one Jerry Greene. You may not know his name because we don't live in Detroit, and you may not know his work with the Detroit Free Press, but for the Detroit News, but for many years, Jerry Greene was their lead sports writer at the Detroit News, and he is the only reporter in history to cover each of the first 56 Super Bowls. Sadly enough, Jerry died Thursday night. He was 94 years old. That, my friends, is what dedication to your craft looks like. We just have to mention him because
he had just missed his first one this year.
Yeah.
That was the first one that he could not attend.
Yeah. All 56, first 56 Super Bowls, Jerry Greene was in attendance writing for the Detroit News. And, he passed away at the age of 94 last night. He is a legendary sports writer and will be missed by all of his loyal readers.
Mr. Greene was a legend in his profession. My story is about someone that's a legend merely in their own mind. And his name is Jake Paul. I don't know which way to take this story, of that Jake Paul is emulating what may be my future quarterback, or that Aaron Rodgers is closer to Jake Paul than I want to let on. I'm not sure which one bothers me more.
Okay.
So Jake Paul did an interview with Fox Digital, and he said, I think it's always powerful to take some time and see how everything unfolds, what the next steps are in terms of my boxing career and all that. Does that sound familiar? Does that not sound eerily like Aaron Rodgers? I want to see where things go.
A little bit.
Yeah, it was the next thing that he said that really bothered me. So apparently he's going to take a darkness retreat.
Okay.
He's learning that from Aaron Rodgers. He then said, he said, it's funny, I was planning on doing the darkness retreat later this year. Aaron and I were actually together when he did the ayahuasca. He's more publicly known for speaking about it, but I was actually there with him when he did it. Okay. I desperately want a quarterback for the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Jake Paul with a fire that burns of 1,000 suns. And now I can never unsee this. I can never unsee that, oh, good Lord, he's Jake Paul. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting 39-year-old Jake Paul. And that gives me a lot of agita, like right here. It's a pressure that's just.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sad reality to think about, but who cares? Do you really care with the play that he brings to the field?
Well, I haven't gotten that far because I read this story and I'm sleep deprived and I felt tears in my eyes. And then the only thing I could think was, how does one get a job at a darkness retreat?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll just be the caretaker and maybe I'll just stop bringing food.
Yeah, there are no drawbacks to this deal. I know you're looking for them, but there are no drawbacks for you for the Aaron Rodgers deal. The Jets have never had a franchise quarterback, save for 9 games. Was it 9 games of Brett Favre? Immediately, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback in Jets history, and he's not even signed the papers yet.
Yeah, but it bothers me that he's Jake Paul, and I don't like it.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but I mean, really, if you can bring it on the field, who cares? Well, this last year didn't go his way. Well, no, it didn't. But the dude won 2 MVPs the years previous. Do you really think that his career fell off a ledge after that 1 year?
I didn't mention this to talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I know.
You know what?
I hear this over and over again, and it just
I'm playing the game.
Baffles me.
We did this once, and it got Aaron to come out and talk on Pat McAfee. Aaron Rodgers is on conversation probation. He shall not be mentioned again.
All right. I guess that's fair.
We have one of these.
There's no laws in this place. Anything goes. It's Thunderdome.
Sloan Jordan has officially become a member of the House of Reprehensibles.
It's about time. What was taking you so long, bro? We are happy to have you.
It probably took him that long to find the button because, frankly, I went down a rabbit hole and I made the button. Hey, YouTube, maybe make that a little easier to find.
Sloan says it's an iPhone thing. Again, the iPhone users, for some reason, can't find the subscribe button the join button.
The link is in the description of the video.
Yes,
I put it in there just for that, but then I tried on an iPhone to find it, and it is literally impossible.
Jason Trump posting that, so he is our official IT guy of the Sportsocracy.
Yeah, speaking of which, Jason, you and I need to chat because there's things that aren't, just okay.
Things aren't working?
Every day that passes that Jason Trump hasn't been here, my computer works just a little less than it did the day before. That gives me that agita I was talking about. I got a lot of that. I'm either having a heart attack or I got indigestion. I don't know which one it is.
Right. We got moves going on in the NFL, and the Carolina Panthers have a new wide receiver. It's DJ Chark. DJ Chark. DJ.
Yeah, but now we have to. Is it DJ Chark? Do.
Yes.
In. That's fine. All right, I'm going to say something, and this is going to sound like I'm waffling, but the more I've thought about this, I still don't love the fact that you traded DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm. But
I don't hate that. Depending on what you do in the draft, I don't hate this receiving core as much as I did. Because now, I'm going to give a fait accompli here. I did that thing where I looked at the money, and I worried too much about the money.
Mm-hmm.
I still hate the Adam Thielen deal with every fiber of my soul.
And that's understandable.
You gave too much money to a decrepit third receiver. But then I started thinking about, okay, so now you have Terrace Marshall on the outside. You have DJ Chark on the outside, if he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts Adam Thielen in the slot.
Yes.
Now, the problem with that for me is that you still don't have a guy that I can trust. I still wish you had gone DeAndre Hopkins, especially for what I'm hearing he's going to. It's a 4 or a 5. That's what's going to get DeAndre Hopkins.
Interesting.
Which is insane to me.
But you got to pay him, right?
Do you have to pay him with, like, the blood of the innocent? Or, I mean, is it it's still
Seems like
just
a hell of a
money,
deal.
right?
Yeah. Seems like a hell of a deal.
I don't have to, like, let him hit me in the face with something, right? Okay, I was just making sure. But I looked down the litany of receivers that are still available, and DJ Chark was the best one by a mile.
Absolutely.
And so now I'm looking at this offense going, I've got a legit deep threat. I've got whatever Terrace Marshall is. I mean, you know how I feel about him. I've never been a fan.
Right.
But I do love DJ Chark when he's healthy. And then I saw what he did in Detroit. It was very indicative of what he's been over the course of his career. But at the end of the day, that does give me the over-the-top, I have to at least give him his flowers, guy that opens up Adam Thielen.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me like Hayden Hurst a little more. And now I'm looking at running back going, man, I hope Miles Sanders is what I think he is. I hope he pays off what we thought he would be, and it was just Nick Sirianni is he hates running backs. Like his high school girlfriend cheated on him with a running back on the football team, and he just hates them.
Yep.
And now he won't give any of them more than 12 touches.
I hope so as well. Been a big Miles Sanders fan and a Miles Sanders truther, if you will. Now, usually when I attach myself to a guy like this, it does not work out.
Thanks, Mr. KOD.
Right, it does not work out. Can you recall one of my former
that's going poorly?
Just pure running back loves that I was like, this guy's going to break out.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor's the one that I remember, but that was
no. How about Chase Edmonds?
Oh yeah, you did.
You
love
remember
him.
the Chase
you
Edmonds
did love
bandwagon?
him.
How about Tevin Coleman?
Oh yeah.
I
God, there's a reason you let me do scouting things. I forgot
Absolutely.
about
I was so crazy about Tevin Coleman.
that. I think some of those were so stupid that I pushed them out of my brain.
I get these guys that I fall in love with, and it doesn't always work out. But I guess that's every scout's experience. Not saying that I'm a scout, not trying to put myself in that scenario. But I feel like Miles Sanders is, he has never gotten the true, a true number one workload, which I think he will get in Carolina. I just don't see a major split in the carries with him and Chuba Hubbard. And maybe you draft one just for some depth. So
no, now I'll be honest with you. As I'm going down the rabbit hole now, I'm looking at Carolina going, obviously that first pick is going to be your quarterback.
C.J. Stroud.
I think it's C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
But then I go down the rabbit hole of what do you do later? And with Carolina, I think you have to draft a receiver of some kind. I think 38 has to be a receiver of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a tight end, that's, to be honest with you, that's more where I fall in, is that you should take a receiver there, maybe one of these, or a tight end there, maybe one of these raw guys that's not as great of a blocker. Or I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound a little bit crazy. What precludes you from trading up a little bit and get Michael Mayer? If he falls to just looking at the order here, I think Michael Mayer's drop dead spot is 28 with Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm. What does it cost to get you up into the back end of the first round?
What would keep me from calling the Buffalo Bills and, hey, you need a bunch of stuff? I mean, I hate giving up future capital.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm all in. I'm obviously all in. And you tell me I've got Hayden Hurst and Michael Mayer, who's a much better blocker. Now I'm starting to look at it and go, all right, maybe the accumulation of parts is good enough. I still don't love that you don't have a number one receiver. But I feel like you have done enough here to make the offense work for a rookie. And this is not like what I saw out of Chicago, where it was Darnell Mooney and four dudes that ran like me.
When we were talking about this a week ago, after the Adam Thielen signing, I said, we keep hearing DJ Chark, and I think that makes this team better. You don't like it that he'll be treated as a number one, or he will be your de facto number one, but this team is not that yet. They're building for that in the future. They're building to be the next Cincinnati to crawl out of the cesspool that is, the bottom of the NFL and become a contender, not only in their division, but in their conference and across the league as a whole. The division part comes now. We don't have to have all these pieces in place immediately. If it's gonna hamstring us for the future, I don't think we need to go all in right now. You do it piece by piece.
Well, you're all in for the future.
Yeah, but you do it immediately, piece by piece, just to get CJ comfortable. And I think they're giving him pieces that makes a quarterback's transition to the NFL so much easier.
All right, so you're hinting at something that was where I was headed with this. I'm not backing off I still don't feel like you have a one. Mm-hmm. I feel like every player in this rotation is playing one spot above their skis. But this does at least allow Thielen to play in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. But what I think it does do is it gives you enough pieces to show what C.J. Stroud can do. To show he's the guy that you're trying to sell us on. I'll give you an example. We all felt Joe Burrow was going to be a dog when he came into the league.
Yes.
So he gets hurt that first year. He gets hit 1 billion times. But how many Sundays before he got hurt did we sit around and go, this kid's going to be real good. This kid's going to be real good. And then they draft Jamar Chase. They already had T. Higgins, and they already had Tyler Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have to go get a guy. But let's say C.J. Stroud comes out, plays 17 games. They either win the division or they come close. But we keep doing that thing where every Sunday we're looking at him going, he's going to be a dog.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's going to be a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Then next year when you have the DeAndre Hopkins or whoever is up next year and wants to move, then they look at it and go, that's a guy. That's a dog.
Yep.
You've given him enough to show that now. Yep. And I think I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I think I was being a little short-sighted on that. Still don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not jumping into the deep end of the pool. And now I'm looking at it going, this is a combination of weapons, and Brian Haynes in the YouTube comments said, Shi Smith reminds him of Victor Cruz, and he thinks he takes a big jump this year. I've always loved Shi Smith. I think he's the future of the franchise in the slot. There's another thing that bothered me about Thielen is, okay, you're going hat on a hat. I'm not sure Shi Smith's not a better player right now than Adam Thielen.
I mean, he might be, physically speaking, but obviously there are intangibles that he doesn't have, and who better to learn from
there it is.
than a guy like Adam Thielen, who is the consummate pro and was a all-pro level player in his heyday. He's still got some gas left in the tank. He is he's got sure hands, and that's exactly that's exactly one of the things that I'm sure Frank Reich looked at with this team when he came in and went, good God, look how many drops they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Look at DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and Chuba Hubbard and just the litany of drops that they had. Now, they were worse the year before, but they were still pretty bad last year.
Oh, without a doubt.
So we went, so this guy we're paying a whole bunch of money who really don't trust him to catch the ball. Granted, his quarterback play hasn't been good. It's not all DJ's fault, but let's send him away. Let's recoup some draft capital from that, and let's give the next generation a fresh start. A fresh start that includes some savvy veterans in there to lead the way. I love Frank Reich. I mean, I get that he didn't have the greatest of tenures. People would have expected more in Indianapolis, but
never had a quarterback.
But I think the way that they have built this coaching staff, one, is just going to make the team so much better and so much more prepared to take over this division, as we said was going to happen when Tom Brady left Tampa Bay.
Look, we're affiliates of this Carolina Panther team, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm looking at it top to bottom going, the coaching staff's much better, the roster's much better. Maybe you just need another weapon. And if that's how you feel, top 13 wide receivers is coming your way after the bangers.
That's right.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Don't miss the factory authorized clearance at Sonny's Camp and Travel. All 2022 RVs must go. Look for the blue tags with clearance pricing up to 40% off on America's favorite brands. Hurry. When the tags are gone, so are the savings. Get 40% off at the factory authorized clearance at Sonny's Camp and Travel, a Blue Compass RV company. Visit Sonny'sRV.com. Example 22 Braxton Creek Free Solo, number SI 1026, MSRP 22,222. See dealer for details.
Coffee's the closer's only.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
3-3 last night to start the Sweet 16, and I got a lot right. Michigan State, Kansas State, and UCLA Gonzaga were both Game of the Year contenders. It was a good night to have the overs. And then we get to that whole it'll never be close with FAU and Hog Pig Suey thing. Yikes. That is a 50-50 night that feels like I was really right about what I was right about and really wrong when I was wrong. 500 for the week, and we try to end it on a high note in the second night of the Sweet 16. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. San Diego State's a 7-point dog tonight against Alabama, over under 137.5. There are two ways this game can go.
For San Diego State to cover and possibly win, this needs to be a good old-fashioned street fight. SDSU is fantastic defensively and is one of the best teams in the country at defending the three, which is something Alabama lives by. If the Tide find a way to continue their hot waste from deep, this will be a blowout because the Aztecs just don't have the firepower. I think San Diego State will be able to dirty this game up and keep it close, with Brandon Miller being the difference. Alabama has him, and the Aztecs don't have anybody in his class. Alabama wins, but give me San Diego State plus the 7 to keep it close and aggressive on the under. Next, Miami's a 7.5-point dog against Houston. Over-under's 138.5. No, that's not a typo. There is only 1 point difference in the total of this game and the last one, and that is stupid. Whereas the last game is going to be a good old-fashioned rock fight, this one's going to be a track meet and could be the first one to 80 wins. Both of these teams can score and score often, and I can't for the life of me figure out the total. I do think Houston's going to win this game, but I'll take Miami plus 7.5 to keep it close, and again aggressive, but this time on the over. Creighton's a 10-point favorite against Princeton. Come on now. I've already told you I'm the biggest Blue Jay fan in the country for the next 2 weeks, and if I'm right, I'll be taking a temporary leave of absence as I sit on a beach somewhere spending my winnings. This game will never be close. Princeton's very disciplined, and I'm slightly scared of a backdoor cover late, but these birds are real, and I'll give the 10. Finally, Texas is a 4.5-point favorite tonight against Xavier. This is the game I'm most legitimately scared of, and the one I think will be the best of the night. I love Texas. Not like, love. But Rodney Terry has been coaching over his skis. We've seen him as a head coach, and in large part, it hasn't been good. But he really has this Longhorn team playing hard. Texas has done a great job of forcing turnovers and bad shots, and that's something Xavier's been vulnerable against all year long. If I'm right, the first 8 minutes will really show it, and Texas will be able to pull away late. If I'm wrong, it'll come down to the final shot. Give me the Horns. I'll give the 4.5. For more, follow us on all of the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Green on Green is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a warm day, no surprise, we have a warm night in store. We're looking at low temperatures around 59, 60 as we head into Saturday morning, and that is closer to our average high for this time of year. This warmth does add fuel to the storms, and we're tracking storms for tomorrow morning. Right on the edge of severe potential, our greatest threat looks to be gusty winds. On the other side, we are a touch cooler, our highs Saturday mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Rachel Kay with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. For your guaranteed biggest refund and 50% off tax prep, switch to Jackson Hewitt. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Wendy's 2 for $6 lets you mix and match some of our best items, like Dave Single with a 10-piece crispy nugs, medium strawberry lemonade with a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken with a Dave Single with a strawberry lemonade, if you're into that. Chicken Sam, crispy nugs, strawberry lemonade, Dave's, nugs, Sam. Whew. Pick what you want at a price you want. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6.
For limited time, price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. On the card only. Single item at regular price.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with savings on select PCs powered by the latest 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Plus, get deals on select accessories and free shipping on everything. Save now by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Kevin Winter. Sweet 16 continues tonight on the men's side, opens today on the women's side. Here go the women Miami Hurricanes, a 9 seed who took out a 1 seed last weekend to reach the Sweet 16. Right now, they're up 54-37 on a 4 seed Villanova. Coverage is on ESPN television. It's the third quarter, the first of 4 Sweet 16 games on ESPN. Miami's men's team tonight, They will take on the Houston Cougars, one of the 2 1 seeds remaining. The other 1 seed is Alabama. As ESPN's Byron Metcalf notes, it's 2 different Alabamas.
When you get a murder case in the middle of the season and your star player is attached to that and your head coach can't stop making these ridiculous statements attached to it all, you know what? It weighs on you. And at some point, you can't handle that pressure. So I think that would be the thing for Alabama, because on the court, they're just really, really good.
Myron Metcalf on Fitz and Harry, San Diego State, Alabama, Miami, Houston, Princeton, Creighton, Xavier, Texas. NBA News, the Mavericks officially filed a protest of Wednesday's game against the Warriors. At the end of the game, Luka Doncic made that money gesture toward the officials, but hit with a $35,000 fine.
A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. So for parts that fit, head to eBay Motors and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy second hour of a Friday edition here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link so you can join us in the chat.
Apparently, we've learned in the first hour of this show that it really helps if we tell people that
there's no laws in this place. Anything goes. It's Thunderdome.
joining the House of Reprehensibles is how you get into our Discord, and you get the little beer mug next to your name and all the wonderful things. Bob Brown and Crazy Blade did that in the last hour. Just wanted to tidy that up and welcome them to the dysfunction itself.
Yes, and the dysfunction never ceases, but it always cranks up a little notch during the Draftmas season.
Oh, Draftmas tree, old Draftmas tree.
It is not too long now. Well, the NFL draft is right around the corner, but we got plenty of mock drafts. We got plenty of top 13s, and we've got plenty of team-by-team mock drafts to come out on the channel between now and then. Today's version.
This is my time. I am the captain now.
Yes. Today's version of the top 13. It's time to talk about wide receivers. Jeremy Greene at ESPN Draft Nerd on Twitter. He pours his heart and soul into all the player profiles and all of the scouting, and he comes up with the definitive lists. Here, his top 13s, because he is the most superstitious man on the planet. It all starts at number 1 with
Quentin Johnston, TCU.
Yep.
If this is not your one, I'm going to need you to explain to me why.
I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the next. I mean, he's the next name.
I mean, we'll get to him soon enough. Don't worry. But if that's who you're telling me you have ahead of Quentin Johnston, I'm going to tell you need to have your head examined.
All right, what separates Quentin from JSN?
Other than the fact he's better, and I have to be more intricate than that, right?
Yeah, yes, that's a banger of an analysis.
Well, I mean, Quentin Johnston has every height, weight, speed measurable you could possibly ever want. 6'2", 200 pounds. He can absolutely fly. And I look at Njigba, there are things about his personality that I don't love. I think we talked about that ad nauseum around the college football playoff. And I just look at Quentin Johnston and go, all right, what are the knocks on him? All right, what can you really bang on him about? Well, he didn't run a huge route tree. Okay, I can teach you a route tree. I mean, there are a lot of guys that come into the NFL that do not run a gigantic route tree. Not the dominating blocker. Okay, look down this. Do you realize how many 5'9" receivers we have in this class? How many guys that I think play predominantly in the slot? There are 3 that I look at and think they can play day one on the outside. I see a lot of Julio Jones and Quentin Johnston. I heard the comp. You know how I feel about player comps. And now I can't get away from it. And I think it's I'm not going to say it's the best one I've ever heard, but I think it's one of the most fitting. And I've kind of gotten to a point where I think it's funny. I think people try to be spicy and, well, yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay. I mean, there's a positive to him, and we'll talk about him soon enough. But Quentin Johnston's the most talented receiver in his class.
All right, at number 2.
Jordan Addison, USC.
Okay, the Biletnikoff winner.
Well, I mean, he's just a tiny little feller.
Mm-hmm.
He's a $170, and that's probably soaking wet, holding a bag of hammers. But he's always open. I don't know that I've ever seen a player, and I know he played in the Pac-12 and he played in the ACC. He's always open. I don't know that I saw more than a handful of snaps where I legitimately thought he was covered. Now, did he run as fast as I wanted him to? No. I mean, the 4.49? Watch the tape. I mean, he plays faster than that. And there's some guys that they're not track guys. So you put them on that fast track, and it's not as good as what you see on the field. He's been the best receiver in college football for 2 solid years. I mean, it certainly helped when he got that he's had Caleb Williams and Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest knock on him to me is that he plays in the slot. I don't really have a lot of – when it comes to does he run a prodigious route tree? Yeah. From Pittsburgh, I saw him do a lot of things. Now, in that Lincoln Riley system, I don't get as much of a feel for that, but I've already seen you do it. So is he going to be pressed a lot in the NFL? Probably. I can't tell you that he's not going to because he was 170 pounds. So that could be a little bit of a problem. He's the best route runner in this class.
Mm-hmm.
That's not close.
I mean, that's why he's always open.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal route runner.
Right. I mean, it's because of all of the, all of the movement that he can throw off defenders before the ball gets there as to why he is open.
He's very slippery. There was a time where I thought he was just destined to be a Charger. I've heard Jacksonville is in love with him. I don't hate any of those fits.
Mm-hmm.
If you put him on a team where there are other legitimate weapons.
Jacksonville's out to hurt people's feelings.
Jacksonville wants to just beat your brains out. They're like, we don't even care if we stop you. Frankly, you score so we can score again. Jacksonville's going to be so
Well, if they land Calais Campbell, like I'm hearing.
Well, he just visited Atlanta, so I would say be wary of, I think Calais is maybe getting some free steak dinners. Hadn't done this a lot in my life. Now, would I be shocked if he's out in Jacksonville? No, it's where he started.
That's right. You go back home for the final push here, and hey, now there's a team around you. That'd be great. All right, so your number 2 is Jordan Addison.
It is.
Number 3 in the top 13.
You would think surely this is where I have Jackson Smith and Jigba, right?
Yes.
Would be the common way of thinking.
Sure.
That's why I say Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College. He is, to me, he's Jordan Addison light. I mean, this kid reminds me of Hollywood Brown, who, ironically enough, I didn't like Hollywood Brown, and I love Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Figure that out. Yeah, I'm maddeningly inconsistent sometimes.
Quarterbacks, maybe? Was it because you loved their quarterback?
I love Phil Jakovic, but he hasn't been good.
Oh,
he hasn't been good.
Yeah.
He's this kid's an unbelievably good deep ball threat. Is one of the best trackers of the football I think I've ever seen. I mean, for him, it comes back to he's 182 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to tell you a fun story about Zay Flowers that not a lot of people know?
What's that?
He played over 80% of his snaps on the outside. And it's not like he played in the Pac-12. I mean, the ACC is not the SEC. But, I mean, he showed an ability to play on the outside. I've seen him do everything. He has tremendous hands for a kid this little. I mean, did he have some drops? Yes, but when you watch the tape, there are times that I could argue the drops are because he's little. I knew the ball was going to him. He was the number one option on every play he ran at Boston College because they didn't have anybody else. And so, yeah, there are some times that he had a drop, maybe a concentration drop. The team was also awful. So,
I mean, yeah, he's little, but I've said this 100 times. The NFL's getting smaller. It's getting faster. It's getting shiftier. And Zay Flowers, to me, is a no-doubt first-round pick. I think it's funny it took the industry this long to get to it because how long have I been screaming about Zay Flowers? 3 years?
3 years, yeah. 3 years. Ever since I think you once said that Phil Dracovic was going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And that hasn't worked that way.
Okay, just you miss some. You
of course, everybody misses. I'm not knocking you. All I'm saying is you were very in love with Phil Dracovic, and because of that, and because he is, not to take anything away from Zay Flowers, but that was a phenomenal tandem for Boston College for 3 years, and now he gets his chance to go into the pros, and he's going to be very highly drafted in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Number 4 on your list. This one, it has to be him, right?
I mean, you would think, wouldn't you? It's Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Okay, thank you.
Now, do I love him? No, I don't. I saw no smiles in the comments said, you hate Njigba. I didn't love him in the first place. I always felt like he benefited. Marvin Harrison's the better of those two receivers, and that's not even debatable.
Yes.
And I feel like, okay, so take the journey with me. The worst I've ever seen Ohio State's offense over the last 3 years was when Njigba was the one. It's the worst I've ever seen them play. Olave was a dog. Garrett Wilson was a dog. Marvin Harrison is a dog. The handful of games that I ever looked at Ohio State and went, man, this offense looks clunky. Either Marvin Harrison wasn't out there, or it was after Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were gone.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do really well? What's his clear, no-doubt trait in the NFL that this is what nobody can ever answer for me, and then they get mad and say, you're anti-Ohio State. Am I, though? I don't think that I am, because I liked Garrett Wilson and I liked Chris Olave.
I mean, does he have elite separating skills?
No, he's a thin-framed receiver that runs about a 4.5.
Is he?
And his is that shows on tape. Jordan Addison looks faster than that on a football field.
Is he a great route runner?
He's a good route runner. He's a strong guy. He played predominantly in the slot, which at his size, it bothers me that you didn't play on the outside. And so I think you're going to get to this league. I mean, look, there's a reason that no team in the top 20 is jumping up and down to draft Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's not an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into why were you healthy enough to play in the college football playoff semifinal and you didn't? Sorry, that matters.
It does.
It just does.
It absolutely does.
Because you're going to have to sell that to a locker room full of guys that, whether you like this or not, football players consider football to be war, and I need 52 guys that are going to go to war with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sell that. I'll go ahead and tell you. If this kid walked in my locker room, we're going to have a come-to-Jesus meeting about 3 seconds after he walks in that door.
You ever put yourself above the team on this team? We're going to go round and round, you and me.
That may be that cute little nonsense may have worked in Columbus. It ain't going to work here.
Right. I need to know that I need to know that you're committed. I need to know that you're a part of this team and that you're going to be all invested. I get that college is a little bit of a different story than being in the pros. I understand that. But it speaks to a man's character. It speaks to a man's, will to win, that he would just tap out and go, no, I got other things on my mind.
And then you get the hamstring injury. So you missed an entire, what do you have? 5 catches last year, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah,
I don't have the stats pulled in front of me. And so yeah, I mean, there are a lot of red flags with this kid. Is there good tape? Absolutely.
Yeah, he had 5 catches for 43 yards.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what you want from me. I really don't. He's never been the best receiver on his college team. You think I'm going to put him at what, 1? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Have I been wrong before? Absolutely. I've had a really good track record with Ohio State. Just to be, I mean, you've been doing, name me the last Ohio State player I wildly missed on.
Can't think of one.
There you go. Because to me, their offense is really easy to project NFL players. Now, I had some bones of contention that I thought Chris Olave was only a deep ball guy, and I didn't know exactly where Garrett Wilson was going to play in the NFL. I have that same fear with Chris Olave or with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm not sure that you're not a slot exclusive player in the NFL. And it bothers me because you're not a burner. And I don't see you as a burner on film.
My question is, I mean, I don't feel like there are a lot of those guys left, though. I don't feel like there are a lot of, here's X receiver, Y receiver, Z receiver. Like, everybody plays every little, you know, there's a share of your snaps that are played at every level. I don't feel like we have as many of those specialists as some would lead you to believe. Does that make sense?
Look, it's a prodigious offense that has churned out NFL talent. I'm not telling you the kid's not an NFL player. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, and as we go down the list, there's going to be a slew of guys that I can tell you they have one trait that makes them a no-doubt NFL receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Jigba's good at everything. He's not great at anything. And there are other guys that are. I feel like the three guys in front of him, they are great at something. I know Zay Flowers will be a deep ball receiver immediately. Jordan Addison will come into this league and be a faster version of Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnston, does his floor scare me? Absolutely. His ceiling is through the roof. And so I don't feel like 4 is a spicy on JSN. I just don't.
This is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We're in the midst of the top 13 wide receivers for the 2023 NFL Draft, as chosen by Flostradamus Jeremy Greene. We'll continue with the 5th man on the list next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go beginning at Chimney Rock Road and continuing towards Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and Brevard Road. 26 eastbound light delays between the French Broad River and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound is crawling between exit 27 and US 276. 40 eastbound is slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound, some delays approaching Long Shoals Road. I'm Lehman Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Need weekend plans? Check out what's happening at your local Lowe's. Weekending at Lowe's gives you and your family the opportunity to make them your weekend destination with free events, workshops, and more. Visit Lowe's.com/events for this month's full lineup.
Don't miss the factory authorized clearance at Sonny's Camp and Travel. All 2022 RVs must go. Look for the blue tags with clearance pricing up to 40% off on America's favorite brands. Hurry. When the tags are gone, so are the savings. Get 40% off at the factory authorized clearance at Sonny's Camp and Travel, a Blue Compass RV company. Visit Sonny'sRV.com. Example 22 Braxton Creek Free Solo, number SI 1026, MSRP 22,222. See dealer for details.
On the free iHeartRadio app, you never pay to hear what you love, and you never wait to hear what you want. Save your money, save your time, and listen anywhere. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Wendy's 2 for $6 lets you mix and match some of our best items, like Dave Single with a 10-piece crispy nugs, medium strawberry lemonade with a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken with a Dave Single with a strawberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, if you're into that. Chicken Sam, crispy nugs, strawberry lemonade, Dave's, nugs, Sam. Whew. Pick what you want at a price you want. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6.
For a limited time, price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. On the card only. Single item at regular price.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Hey, I go to church, just not during televised sporting events.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy and top 13 wide receivers for the 2023 NFL Draft as chosen by at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene.
In our YouTube chat,
I'm your huckleberry.
Gage Camplin asked us, crazy to think that C.J. Stroud reminds me of Joe Burrow. And the reason I wanted to wait on that until right here, I get a lot of flack that I missed on Jamar Chase and I missed on Justin Jefferson because I thought the system was making the receivers. It took me a minute to realize, oh, no, these are just dogs. Just complete, no doubt dogs. And I was right about Terrace Marshall. I didn't like –
You were.
It's not that I didn't like any of them. Tank loves to – he makes it sound like I thought Justin Jefferson should be working at Home Depot. No, I just said I didn't like him as much as everybody else. I didn't think Jamar Chase was a top 5 receiver. I don't love taking receivers in the top 5. It wasn't, oh, he's not good. He's just, in my opinion, wasn't that good coming in.
And there was another glaring need that we all thought Cincinnati should do rather than Jamar.
Penei Sewell probably had more to do with Jamar Chase than Jamar Chase did. But the reason that I wanted to say that is, all right, so in Jigba, the tape, and I get killed on this guy every time I say his name. There's been a lot of Justin Fields. There's been a lot of C.J. Stroud at Ohio State. Name me outside of the last 2 who are the great hit receivers. Michael Thomas, who played in the slot. There were a lot of guys that wound up going to the NFL, and they were great slot guys. There wasn't a lot of burners. There was a lot of, oh, God, who was the one that I've tried to just completely erase his name from my brain. Oh, the Jets drafted him in the 2nd round. He wound up with the Cowboys. I can't for the life of me think of his name now.
From Ohio State?
Yes. Oh, God, he was awful.
I'm drawing a blank because I'm trying to – because, like, I think Ohio State receivers, you know, if you're trying to put the Ohio State receivers in, like, the same category-ish as Ohio State quarterbacks, I mean, I go back to –
Devin Smith.
Devin Smith.
That's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah. And Paris Campbell.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those guys that go to the league, and
who was the other one that went to the Colts? He's a slot receiver. This was 10 years ago. Anthony Gonzalez.
He's a congressman now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you have some preconceived biases. Everybody always, well, you hate Ohio State. No, I don't. Not in any way, actually. I've never liked their quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud's without a doubt the one I've liked the most. And weird, he's the most pro-ready coming out.
I do hate Ohio State, but I still appreciate your players. You know, just like I hate Duke, but I still appreciate Mike Krzyzewski and Jason Tatum and you know, some of the greats that have played for that team. It's not a homerism thing. It's not a, you know, Jeremy hates Ohio State.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I watch tape without looking at it. I don't really care who you play for in large part. Now, there are certain things that will bother me when I watch it on tape, and then when I start seeing a trend, that gets in my head.
All right, so of the top 13, we're through the top 4 right now. Quentin Johnston was number 1 out of TCU. Then you got Jordan Addison, the USC/Pittsburgh receiver, at number 2. Zay Flowers from Boston College at 3. Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State is his 4. Jackson Smith-Njigba is expected, I believe, right, amongst most prognosticators, to be the first wide receiver off the board, right?
I don't know one person that sees.
Really?
No. I don't know one person that has him going. Quentin Johnson will be the first one off the board.
Quickly followed by Jackson Smith-Njigba.
I'm not so sure of that.
Really? Okay.
He's a player I could see fall. Satisfied Browns fan is going to make me respond to this.
Uh-oh.
So this is the list of receivers that were thrown at me of, this is why you're wrong about Ohio State. Terry McLaurin, I'll give you that one.
That's a good one.
Paris Campbell, Noah Brown, and Curtis Samuel. Thank you for proving my point. Because 2 of those are flat out bad. And the other had one great year as a gimmick player where he was running out of the backfield. It's kind of my point. But thank you for Terry McLaurin, I'll totally give you.
Yeah.
But thank you for making my point on the other 3 because none of the 3 of them even crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm. Daniel Hillman also threw in Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah. Ted Ginn, he had one. He said when trying to prove it. I was trying to guess the name. Yeah, it was Devin Smith. Yeah, sorry. I forget sometimes people get behind in the stream. My bad. All right, that's another one. I'll admit I was wrong.
Fair enough. We thought that you were giving examples of these are the banger wide receivers.
Yeah, that's my bad. I'm sorry.
All right, number 5 in the top 13 wide receivers of the 2023 NFL draft class.
This is a name that's going to shock you that I have him this high. If you had to guess who I was about to say, who would it be?
Jalen Hyatt.
No. A.T. Perry. Wake Forest.
That is massively high.
You know what? With A.T. Perry, I'm officially to the point of I'm tired of trying to defend myself here. Sit back and watch. Just sit back and watch it. He annihilated the Shrine Bowl. Every evaluator I talk to says if there's a player that no one talks about that could end up going in the first round, it's A.T. Perry. And we've been on this kid for 2 solid years. I'm tired of apologizing for it. You can give me these little 5'9" Mighty Mouse receivers all you want to. A.T. Perry, 6'3", 200 pounds, and ran faster than Jordan Addison. Yeah, dog. Oh, and by the way, he's the best receiver in this draft at the point of the catch.
Mm-hmm. And you get the ball anywhere near him,
he will go get it.
It's mine.
He will go get it.
Right.
Oh, but he only had a 35-inch vert. Well, he's 5 inches taller than damn near every other receiver in his class. So unless they were at 40, his point of the catch is going to be higher than yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of – I feel like every time I talk about this kid, I have to – it's almost like there's some homerism with me because I'm from North Carolina. I have absolutely nothing to do with Wake Forest. Nothing. Other than the fact we're friends with their basketball coach, who has nothing to do with their football program.
Right.
So I love this kid. I've loved him forever. And the more I watch tape, the more I love him.
I know you love him. I just didn't know you top 5 loved him.
All right, so who exactly am I supposed to have ahead of him? Just honestly, who's the oops? Ooh, wrong button there.
I mean, Jalen Hyatt would be a name that I would.
Well, it's ironic you said that because he's number 6.
Ah, there you go.
I mean, look, I like Jalen Hyatt. I think he's kind of a one-trick pony in that he's a really good deep threat. I think you're going to have to teach him to run the route tree. He's freakishly physical. And I'll be honest with you, he reminds me a lot of Velus Jones. I know that's a lazy comp because they went to the same school.
Right.
They kind of remind me of each other. It's a gimmicky offense. You don't run an NFL route tree. And look, these are just the negatives. There are plenty of positives. This is why I have him behind A.T. Perry.
Mm-hmm.
How much did Velus Jones do last year? He came in the league to a wide receiver desperate Bears team. Wasn't much. You know why? Because you get to the NFL and you can't run a route, you can't get open.
Right.
Because everybody's fast. Now, I think he is a more developed prospect. had some unbelievable games in the SEC because he was really good at Josh Heupel was really good at spotting lead-footed safeties of, hey, this kid is just going to run directly by you. And he did. He found soft spots in zones phenomenally. Now, do I think he's going to come to the league and be Zay Flowers level impactful as a deep threat? No, I don't. He's really thin for his size.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good deep threat. And I think, to me, he's more of a second-day, I hate to say project because that makes it sound like he's not ready to play. He can come in as your 3 right now. I keep hearing people put him with, like, the Giants. If he goes to the Giants, he's the 2 immediately. And I just feel like that's going to throw him into a fire that puts his career outlook in a little bit of jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't like the kid. I like him a lot. I think we got a little big for our breeches on him. And you have to see him for what he is.
Jalen Hyatt in at number 6. We will continue the list of the top 13 wide receivers in the NFL draft for 2023, which, by the way, is 34 days, 3 hours, and 26 minutes away. Yay! And all the Draft Miss content still to come your way here in the Sportsocracy for the next several weeks. We will be back right after the break. We'll get weird, and then we will continue with the top 13.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a warm day, no surprise, we have a warm night in store. We're looking at low temperatures around 59, 60 as we head into Saturday morning, and that is closer to our average high for this time of year. This warmth does add fuel to the storms, and we're tracking storms for tomorrow morning. Right on the edge of severe potential, our greatest threat looks to be gusty winds. On the other side, we are a touch cooler, our highs Saturday mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Rachel Kay with the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Merriman Avenue. 26 westbound crawling between Airport Road and Bavard Road. A disabled vehicle in this stretch has the left lane blocked at mile marker 34. 26 eastbound crawling between Bavard Road and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound in Haywood County slow between NC 215 and exit 27. 40 westbound then crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound, stop and go between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound, stop and go approaching Clayton Road, continuing to just past the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right price. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, and let's get weird. Let's go to Columbia, South Carolina, where at the old state capitol there's a changing of the guard coming. A position high up in state government in South Carolina is changing for the first time in 20 years. And it's all because, well, mathing is hard. And we get that. But when you are the comptroller general for a state, mathing is very important, right? You're controlling all of the numbers. You have to give the accounting to the legislature about what we're spending, what we're bringing in, all of that. Well, when the year-end financial report was given to South Carolina's legislature, there was a pretty large discrepancy in the numbers where this guy's name is Richard Ekstrom. The report that he approved had a massive discrepancy over the actual numbers. He was off by $3.5 billion on the accounting of the finances of the state of South Carolina. I feel like that's hard to do. $3.5 billion is a pretty sizable number. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. I think the number itself kind of speaks to that.
Right. I was going to say, I mean, so after 20 years, he is finally stepping down from his position after they were obviously South Carolina's legislature and its legislators were not too pleased with this. They say, look, your number one job is to give us the correct accounting of the state. Here's the thing. He didn't actually do anything other than screw up the report. This had no bearing on the actual finances of the state. They didn't lose $3.5 billion. They didn't, nothing. This was just, you screwed up the biggest report of the year, and now you have to leave. But I will say, I guess after 20 years, maybe you're slipping a little bit. We get a little too comfortable in our roles, and oversights can happen. $3.5 billion is insane.
I get sadder about the world we live in by the day. My story is from Shanghai, China. There's a new device that's called the Moi. What does that sound like?
The what?
The Moi.
Moi?
Mm-hmm. M-U-A. That is the acronym that this company thinks symbolizes the sound of blowing a kiss.
Oh, okay. All right. I get it. Moi.
The reason that they named their new device this is because that's what it does.
It blows kisses?
A Chinese startup inspired by lockdown isolation has invented a long-distance kissing machine that transmits users' kiss data collected through motion sensors hidden in silicone lips, which simultaneously move when replaying kisses received.
Oh, my God.
Now, that is without a doubt the saddest phrase I've ever uttered in my life. But
So it's making out with a robot.
Yep.
Okay.
Users can even download kissing data submitted via an accompanying app by other users. Okay, I want you to think what I just said. So this is an app where people will simulate how they kiss, and random people across the world can download it. There's been one great big knock on this device.
Mm-hmm.
That's its lack of tongue. I'm not making that up. This is in an AP story, and it's the saddest thing I've ever read in my life.
I mean, that is an important part of the kiss, right?
Okay, maybe I'm a little tired, and I'm just choosing violence here.
Yeah.
What level of sad in your life do you have to be where you go, I have a hot date with my girlfriend over in a different country. Where is she? Right here. Just a little. This is one step away from having a mannequin girlfriend. I mean, tell me, where was the lie in what I just said?
You're not wrong.
And then I'm telling you, you just mark my words, there's going to be somebody from OnlyFans that is going to find a way to monetize this, and it's going to be icky. And that is a professional term, icky.
It's going to be icky.
I read this story and just wanted to bathe.
And there's a better than 50% chance that if that happens, Jeremy will watch it just to see.
No.
Just to experiment.
Look, I am a very cultured man. I am a very modern day individual. And people like what they like, but out.
But is this like a thing that's readily available to the public?
Yes. They have the price on it. It's $52, something like that. 260 won. It's $51.97.
A kissing robot for $52.
Yes.
Which I can make it kiss like anybody.
Yeah. Let's put their data in.
And look, I'm not interested. I'm just kind of baffled. This seems like a very expensive thing. I would imagine if you're buying like a robot head that can kiss you, I would think that would be more. I would cost more than $50. I would think.
Tank, there have been many times in our partnership that I have felt the urge to tell you to move on, and this is one of them, because what you're saying is that buying a silicone device would be really expensive, and maybe you know where I'm headed with this, but
I wouldn't even think.
There it is. Yeah.
I wouldn't even think. Okay.
Yeah. There it is.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
And see,
I stand corrected. Maybe
it
it's not. Maybe it's not.
$10 billion a year. That's all I'm gonna say. Nobody watches it. $10 billion a year.
If they can do the kiss, they can do the other stuff too.
Sadness for a new generation.
That's right. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. I stand corrected.
Yep.
I wasn't even thinking about that. All right. Anyhow, top 13 wide receivers for the NFL draft. It is, like I said, just 34 days away is the NFL draft. We'll have your coverage of all of the picks live as they happen for all 3 days of the draft, as we do each and every year. It's a fantastic time. Cannot wait for it.
It's our favorite time of year.
We've got all of the Draft Miss content coming your way, team by team. 3-round mock drafts begin to come out later or I guess over the weekend.
Yes, we will be singing Draft Miss carols and all those things.
Number 7 on Jeremy's top 13 wide receivers list.
Josh Downs, North Carolina.
That's another one that I would have expected to see his name before A.T. Perry. Explain to us why he comes in at 7.
Part of it's the offense. Part of it is that he is slot specific. I mean, of the guys that I have told you that about, which one do you think he's better than? You think he's better than Jordan Addison?
No.
No. You think he's better than Zay Flowers?
No.
No. Do you think he is better than Jackson Smith and Jigba?
No.
No. Okay. So, I mean, this is where he falls.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I like him. He's also 170 pounds. And that's probably soaking wet holding a bag of hammers. I love the kid. He's got good hands. He's fearless over the middle. There is a bit of a worry that the system might have propped him up, and it is kind of a gimmicky little system.
Well, a generational quarterback will do that to a wide receiver.
Well, I mean, he had 2 of them, too. So he's never had bad quarterback play his entire career. And these are not knocks. It's just we've got so many of these guys that are slot specific that you got to start really nitpicking them. And for whatever reason, over the course of the process, he's just been pushed down. I still like him. I think he's a second-round pick. I have, for whatever reason, penciled him into Minnesota about 9 times. And not because I know anything. It's just that's
Adam
a really
Thielen
good fit.
Yeah, Adam Thielen replaced.
Yeah, I mean, I like the kid. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm really railing on him. He kind of reminds me of Tyler Lockett without the ability to play on the outside. So, I mean, that's where your value is with him.
At number 8.
Oh. Tank Dell, Houston. Hey, guess what? It's this another little witty itty bitty feller. He's 5'8", $165. That for me, that's never going to stop being humorous when I see a wide receiver at $165. When I started doing this, we were really had questions about guys that were $190.
Mm-hmm.
But Tank Dell is really got some wiggle to him. He's a good deep threat. Just he's very natural with the ball in his hand. It's a lot of the same issues that you have with some guys before him. It's all about the size. I mean, I think we're coming to a day where you're going to have outside wide receivers that are 5'11". A 5'11", $190 puts you on the outside.
Sure.
Because there are so many of these guys. This is more of a I've heard the comp to Tavon Austin, which I don't love because I think he's a much better wide receiver than that. But he's kind of the same spark plug with the ball in his hand. It can be a little difficult to get him the ball sometimes because he does not have the most aggressive route tree. There are a lot of bubble screens, a lot of jet sweeps. That's just kind of how things go with old Benjamin Franklin himself. Dana Holgerson was a bad time in my life. So glad he is anywhere else.
All right, at number 9.
I don't love this, but I feel like I have to do this. It's Kayshon Boutte.
A guy who once was thought to be at the top of this
pick.
wide receiver class.
If you take out the year with Brian Kelly, he's the best receiver in this class.
Mm-hmm.
Now, things went just aggressively off the rails. He had one of the worst workouts I have ever seen. Him at the combine was a legit joke.
To me, that's a major warning sign.
Oh, it is. It's no doubt a red flag. It's just, okay, where is your ceiling? Kayshon Boutte's ceiling is higher than damn near every receiver in this class. So how far am I going to drop you? How many 5'8", $170 receivers am I going to put you behind?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if you told me there are 3 outside receivers that come out of this class, I would bet my house it was Quentin Johnston, it was A.T. Perry, and it was Kayshon Boutte. And so I just got to a point of I can't sink him any lower. I'm going back to the tape. I'm projecting. I don't think he will be taken in this order. But if I'm a team like San Francisco and he's there with my 3 picks at the end of the 3rd round, I don't know that I can say no.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can't just that I don't just have to take the risk that last year was an aberration. He didn't fit with Brian Kelly. That's not who recruited him. I don't think Jaden Daniels is as good a quarterback as many other have claimed he is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just take the tape from every year but this one and hope that.
I would have no qualms about the tape. I like LSU wide receivers, and Kayshon to me was the next in line to be one of the greats to make the next step to the NFL. I don't know. To me, he's got a lot of
growing up to do.
Well, that
maturity
yes.
is
the off the field things, and not just off the field, but like in the locker room, relationships with coaches and things like that. Like there are a lot of concerns about how this guy would be as a teammate.
Relationships with coaches. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But bump cha.
Yeah.
If you know, laugh, you know. Make them laugh.
If you don't know, GTS.
Yep. Google it.
But I've always liked Kayshon. He kind of reminds me of like a Jarvis Landry kind of guy. That
could be.
Once he gets the ball in his hands, the things that he can do to make you miss after the catch are phenomenal and next level.
And to me, you can't invest more than a third-round pick in him, but once you get to the end of the third round, if he keeps falling,
hell of a value.
At some point I just have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it and say that my system is good enough that I can get the best out of him, and he had a bad relationship with Brian Kelly.
All right, number 10.
This is one of my favorite players in this draft, and I can't help it. And his name is Andre Iosivas out of Princeton. He's Christian Watson light. He's big, he's fast, he's physical. The problem is that you're going to have to teach him to run a route because he doesn't do that particularly well. But he's one of the few bigger receivers in this class. I think he is going to be a matchup nightmare in the NFL. But you're going to have to take the long way around. First year, probably shouldn't play more than 20% of the snaps because he needs a serious year of development, learning to run the route tree, because I don't want him to be shoehorned into I play in the slot and you just manufacture touches for me. You just get me the ball. I want to teach you to be an actual legitimate outside receiver.
Check out the film on this kid. Jeremy showed me some, and I went,
intoxicating.
How did a guy like that end up playing football for Princeton?
Well, he's insanely bright. And I think he's from Hawaii. I'm 99% sure he was from Hawaii and just didn't get high-level D1 offers, which is a really common problem because it's hard to get out there and scout guys. The level of competition makes his tape look a little bit better than it is.
That's the way. That's where I was going to go next. I just don't know, playing in the Ivy League, how that's going to set you up for an NFL jump. Does he have talent? It's clear. It's clear he has talent on the screen.
Oh, no doubt.
It's
he
just,
jumps
can
off
he
the
make,
film.
Yeah, can he make the step up? Massive step up in competition from the Ivy League to the NFL.
Yeah, you just have to remember that he was doing a lot of his work on guys that are going to be working for NASA instead of playing in the NFL.
This is the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. We are in the Ingles Studio, and we will give you the last 3 of the top 13 wide receivers for the 2023 NFL draft class as chosen by @ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene. Next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go after Chimney Rock Road to approaching Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound crawling between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound crawling between I-40 and the French Broad River. In Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. On Brevard Road northbound near Avery Creek, traffic is stop and go between Ledbetter Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Brevard Road southbound very busy between Pole Cressman Road and Clayton Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road north and southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Total Wine & More. Always find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest price for over 30 years, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single barrel bourbon to try. Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
Wendy's 2 for $6 lets you mix and match some of our best items, like Dave Single with a 10-piece crispy nugs, medium strawberry lemonade with a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken with a Dave Single with a strawberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, if you're into that. Chicken Sam, crispy nugs, strawberry lemonade, Dave's, nugs, Sam. Whew. Pick what you want at a price you want. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6.
For limited time, price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. On the card only. Single item at regular price.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The top 13 wide receivers in the 2023 NFL Draft. We got 3 to go, Flostradamus. Who's at number 11?
Jaden Reed, Michigan State. You said Jarvis Landry earlier, and that's my comp on Jaden Reed.
Okay.
He's not crazy fast. He's just so shifty, and he's such a good route runner. He crushed it at the Senior Bowl. Nobody could defend him. And the more I watched it, the more he just screamed Jarvis Landry to me. And I think he will go somewhere later in day 2, just solely because every team that I've talked to loves this kid.
One of the only bright spots the Michigan State Spartans had on offense.
Correct.
At number 12.
Michael Wilson, Stanford. Speaking of one of the only bright spots, the thing that bothers me about Michael Wilson, the size is good, all of those things. The production wasn't there. Now, is that because Stanford just had a lack of talent? Well, that's weird because they have 2 receivers that are going to get drafted in this class, and their quarterback will too. I feel like he should have been better than he was, and then he went to the Senior Bowl and killed it, which got me to go back and watch the tape. As a route runner, as a productive player, he has all the things. I just didn't see it on tape. Not a burner and a little raw, but I think he certainly has a spot at the end of day 2.
And finally, number 13.
A lot of people like this guy better than I do. Rashee Rice, SMU. I just feel like he played in a gimmicky system. He is another one of those. He came in much bigger than I thought he was. He's 6 foot, 205, and he does not play that way. He's another one of those that you just get the ball in his hands. Good things tend to happen. I'm just not sure how good of what his route tree looks like right now. That's such a weird offense. So if you're willing to be patient with him, give him a year or 2 to develop, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. But a lot of people think he's going to go really high in round 2, and that makes me like even less.
The Sports Center update comes up in just a few moments, and then it'll be the top of the 3rd hour. Daily draft time. We'll do it again. NFL wide receiver prospects for the last 6 classes.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a warm day, no surprise, we have a warm night in store. We're looking at low temperatures around 59-60 as we head into Saturday morning, and that is closer to our average high for this time of year. This warmth does add fuel to the storms, and we're tracking storms for tomorrow morning. Right on the edge of severe potential, our greatest threat looks to be gusty winds. On the other side, we are a touch cooler, our highs Saturday mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Rachel Kay with the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go after Chimney Rock Road to approaching Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound crawling between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound crawling between I-40 and the French Broad River. In Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. On Brevard Road northbound near Avery Creek, traffic is stop and go between Ledbetter Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Brevard Road southbound very busy between Pole Cressman Road and Clayton Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road, delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. 2 for $6, the best deal in fast food. When you want the best deal on the best meal, choose Wendy's 2 for $6. Pick from Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece Crispy Nugs, or a medium strawberry lemonade. Pair any two for just $6. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. 2 for $6.
The Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito is now at Taco Bell. 2 servings of grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer inside, plus grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
In the fourth quarter, final moment.
And Villanova running out of time. History continues for the Hurricanes. Their first Elite Eight in program history.
The call on ESPN television, Miami's women beat Villanova 70-65. They await the winner between LSU and Utah. As for the men, they are going to face one of the 2 1 seeds remain in the men's bracket. Miami gets Houston, Midwest Regional semifinal tonight in Kansas City. South Region's top seed, Alabama, they tip 6:30 p.m. Eastern against San Diego State. That game will be in Louisville. News from the NBA, the Mavericks make it official, file the protest for Wednesday night's loss against the Warriors. At the end of that game, if you remember, Luka Doncic made the money gesture towards officials. League didn't like it. Fined him $35,000 today for that symbol.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The third hour of the program, final hour of the week. Here in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles studio. You can hear us everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And, of course, we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat every day. You can also get the live alerts whenever we come on. And also your feed will be populated with all of the 3-round team-by-team mock drafts that will start going out this weekend. Daily draft today. It's all about the wide receivers. We did quarterbacks on Wednesday, running backs yesterday. Today, it's the wide receivers. So how this little game has been going over the last couple of days is we take the last 6 classes, this one all the way back to 2018, and we draft by position where we would have drafted these guys. Just giving you more of a look on where this year's class would fall in amongst the most recent additions to the NFL.
I do love that you said the year after last year. I totally forgot what year it was, and now I'm sleep deprived. So thank you for that.
Yes, I mean, I did go back and listen to the tape yesterday. I said it at least 5 times before you tried to draft guys from 2016, but it's neither here nor there. It's been a long week.
What are you, a cop?
All right, let's get into it here. I got the top pick in today's draft and the number 1 overall wide receiver prospect of the last 6 years. This was the hardest one we've done so far.
I feel like there's a name that if you don't say, I should get the right to tell you you're lying. Because there is one receiver that you have liked exponentially better than anybody I talked to. And you were right.
I was.
And that's who your first pick should be. That's just me. I have numeric values for mine, so none of these are hard for me.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to do it anyway. It's Justin Jefferson.
And
I was head over heels for Justin
Jefferson. I think
Jefferson.
Tank would have taken Justin Jefferson in the top 5. And I really believe that.
Yeah.
He called me an idiot on Justin Jefferson no less than 20 times.
I did, because I don't know where he fits in, and I don't know what he's going to do at the next level. You know what he's going to do at the next level? He's going to go in and he's going to be great. And he's been nothing short of great for the first few years of his NFL career. I was super high on him, and Jeremy was not, and that's why every time his name comes up in conversation, I have to try to think of what denigrating job did Jeremy think Justin Jefferson should have other than NFL wide receiver? And poop scooper at the circus comes in mind right now.
Well, of the receivers I have ranked over the last 6 years, 5, and this class is the 6th, he was my 5. So it's not that I just had some reservations about how good that receiving room was, how good the quarterback was. I can't blame you. And you got that one right.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm going to ring the bell for Stephen Tao, who says, Tank, take your victories where you can.
And I don't know where my bell is, but if I could find it, I would double ring it.
They don't come very often, so I have to take my victory laps when I can.
The list of your losses is much deeper than the list of your victories.
No doubt about it.
Like I said, I have numeric values because I've been doing this for many years, and that's how I grade. So I feel like you should know who mine is as easily as I know who yours was, because this was a draft you and I did together. There's a player that I was as hammered on as you are on Justin Jefferson, and I was super right.
A.J. Brown.
Bingo. He's my 2.
Okay.
He's actually the highest rated receiver I've had in the last 6 years. I never figured out how people weren't getting it. I was high on DK too, but I let the knee injury bother me because he had a bone-on-bone thing in his knee, and teams were worried about it. So my number 1, my second pick overall, my number 1 of the last 6 years was A.J. Brown.
I like it.
And now I want this on tape of I have the numbers in front of me, so this is as close as I can come to receipts. It's Ja'Marr Chase.
Okay.
I said I didn't like him in the top 5. I didn't say I didn't like him. I don't like receivers in the top 5 largely anyway. And if you recall, when we did that draft, it was the top 5 has brought us way more Charles Rogers than it has Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
And so that was my knock on him. It was that he's going too high, not that he should have been look at the class he was in. It was him and another name that I don't want to say because I'm afraid you'll take him away from me because he's actually the next one on my list. That was the other part, is that I had the same grade on another one, and anytime I have, in large part when I have close grades on receivers, I push them down.
Again, this is not a hindsight is 2020 scenario. No. I did not say that at the front. I think we have to say this is not looking back on where they would be drafted if you knew how good they were going to be. This is where their stock was coming into the draft, whatever year that was. So Ja'Marr Chase is Jeremy's pick. Yes, we went full on just Cincinnati Bengals. Would be stupid not to take Penny Sewell.
That's the other part that nobody ever gives me credit for. I railed on the Bengals because they didn't have a left tackle. You had a generational one in this class, and they bypassed it.
And part of the reason that you've been so down on Jonah Williams, too.
That didn't help. That certainly didn't help his case.
No, it did not. So Ja'Marr Chase is Jeremy's number 2 wide receiver of the last 6 classes. I get back-to-backs here, so ooh.
I have a feeling you're going to take my next one, and then you're going to – when people say, well, you've been bad at receiver. Okay, let's see what my next 2 picks are, because I have a funny feeling they went to the same school.
I don't know that I'll get it, but I'll give it a try here. My next one is Calvin Ridley.
It's a good choice.
Calvin Ridley, to me, I thought he was going to be the next great wide receiver in the NFL. I thought he was the number 1 wide receiver in that 2018 class, and it wasn't really close to me. I
had him number 1 in that class.
I didn't really know DJ Moore until the process.
I didn't like him.
I never watched Maryland football or anything like that, but
I'll never forget Nate Brown looking at me and telling me I was out of my mind because I didn't like DJ Moore.
Yeah. Do watch quite a bit of SEC football, and Calvin Ridley was the second coming of Randy Moss to me. I mean, he was just
I never saw him.
He was on that level for me.
I didn't see him that high. He was my number one receiver in that class.
Yeah. So Calvin Ridley is my 2. And my 3 is very close between between 3 guys.
Don't do it.
And I'm going to go with the wide receiver out of Oklahoma.
Yay!
CeeDee Lamb.
That was not one of mine.
And I am so glad to see CD becoming the, no doubt, number 1 top 5-ish kind of wide receiver in the NFL that I thought he would be. Coming out, I just loved the kid's athleticism, and I went on and on and on that year about his field awareness was second to none in college. And we're finally seeing with the Dallas Cowboys him stepping into the number 1 role. I think I think having Brandon Cooks on the other side from him is going to open the eyes of the world who doubt him.
Well, that's unfortunate because I thought I knew exactly how my draft was going to go, and now I'm not going to get one of the guys that I really want. I feel like if you're being honest, you know what I'm getting ready to say because it's 2 receivers from the same school. I named a list after one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's Michael Pittman and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But you check the tape. Yeah, I did.
He did.
I had Amon-Ra St. Brown in the top 10. I had Michael Pittman in the top 20 of a much better draft class. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a third guy that had the same rating, but I for posterity's sake, I will allow you to take him.
So this is what your numbers tell you.
Yes.
Really?
I told you during that draft class I would take Amon-Ra St. Brown in the top 10. I said it no less than 50 times. And I have been proven to be 100% right.
And I agreed with you. He was a guy that I really liked as well.
There's another USC receiver on my list, just so we're clear.
Really?
That has been okay. I could have, if I had taken a job in the NFL 4 years ago, I could have the greatest receiving corps in the NFL, never having taken one in the first round, all from USC.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of my greater claims to draft nerd fame.
Right.
Jeremy's really, really good at USC wide receivers.
Yeah.
There was one more that had the same grade, but I knew you couldn't take either of the 2 with a clear conscience that I just said. So I'm going to let you have him.
The last 2 for my team, the last 6 classes of wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy. Again, hindsight's not 20/20. We can't project, we're not going off of what he's done in the NFL. Coming into the NFL, what was the one thing that we just went on and on and on about Jerry Jeudy? He was the best
route runner.
He's
the best route runner I've ever
seen.
Best route runner I've ever graded.
And I still have high hopes for the kid.
He was so slight that bothered me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that class was just, for me, that class was really deep. Because I liked Laviska Shenault better than most people did. Right. I also love Chase Claypool.
Right. And then it's Jalen Waddle.
That's the one I was waiting for you to take.
Yeah.
I had the same grade on him that I had on Amon-Ra, that I had on Michael Pittman. So I figured I would give him to you so that I could have my USC guys.
Mm-hmm. The injury at the end of his tenure there with Alabama, and then coming back for the championship, and all that was the thing that got me. That was the thing that sold me. Of like, I see the kid's physical abilities, but it's the reverse of the Jackson Smith and Jigba thing. The absolute reverse.
All right, so I might as well just finish off the trifecta of USC receivers. He was my number 1 receiver in the last class. And this finishes the trifecta of none of the receivers in this class would be in my top 10.
Yeah.
I love Quentin Johnston, but he's not a can't miss. He has a really high ceiling. He has a dangerously, terrifyingly low floor. It's Drake London.
Okay.
He was my number 1 receiver last year. Yes, I had him over Garrett Wilson. That kind of proves to you this is not a hindsight is 20/20 thing. because now it would be Garrett Wilson pretty comfortably, and I would have actually taken him a couple spots ago because we know now what we know. But I didn't have as high a grade on him as I had on Drake London.
Yep. UDFA?
You know what? Go ahead.
It's got to be Henry Ruggs. He was the fastest man alive, and there was no doubting. We all thought he was going to be amazing, and he was for a little bit. And then, of course, tragedy struck.
Yeah, his scouting report. He was at when I prepared for this. I actually read my scouting report on him. It was eerily accurate. I'll put it this way: the top line was in red Sharpie, immature.
Yeah,
and that unfortunately served to be prophetic.
Yep.
I have two that have the same grade. I'll just tell you.
Take them both. Take them both, and I'll mention another.
Deebo Samuel.
There you go.
And Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh. We're very high on Wan'Dale.
Had Wan'Dale in the first round. Had him in the top 20, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'll be honest with you. I had Wan'Dale ahead of Chris Olave. I had him ahead of Jahan Dotson. I had him ahead of Traylon Burks. He was slightly behind Garrett Wilson and pretty significantly behind Drake London.
Okay.
But he was a top 20 prospect in the draft class for me last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Deebo, I was hammered on. I watched more South Carolina tape that year because they had a player on both sides of the ball that I was absolutely drunk in love on.
Mm-hmm. My last UDFA here is DK Metcalf.
And I can give you that one. I started high on him, and then the med report came back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I soured on him. I was still going, he's so good that he shouldn't fall this far. And I think his fall made me think the medical was worse than it was. I didn't have as many well-placed people around the league at that time. So, yeah, and you definitely were on DK.
Jeremy and I argued a lot that year about who was better, who was going to be the better of the two Ole Miss players in the NFL. Would it be A.J. Brown? Would it be DK Metcalf? And then when DK came out and just put on the freak performance at the Combine, I went, I try not to get swayed by things like this, but that did it for me. And he should have been drafted way higher than he was.
There were a lot of teams that took him off the board because of medical.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't have what I have now, so when I had three teams say, not on our board, okay, this is bad. This is bad, but bad, bad, but bad, bad.
I feel like this was a good draft. As we took the wide receivers for the last 6 years, we will continue to do this position by position.
This is a fun little exercise because people ask us to do redrafts and things like that, and this just kind of gives you an idea where our brains were going into these.
Yep. You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. More to close out the Friday next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound between Chimney Rock Road and Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound slows between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound is crawling between I-40 and Bavard Road, Haywood County. 40 westbound is crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Near Bent Creek, Bavard Road, north and southbound. Very busy between Clayton Road and I-26. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, southbound, slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Merriman Avenue, north and southbound, near Edgewood Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer, unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Rolling along on a Friday here to close out what's been a very busy week here in the Sportsocracy as, it was a long day for Jeremy. If you're just tuning in or missed the open of the show, I walked into the studio today and there was a homeless guy sleeping in the floor.
What are you,
Jeremy.
cop? Name's on the door. I'll sleep where I want to. I actually thought about going to my truck, and I don't know why I didn't.
I don't either.
That would have been way much. Now, that's what happens when your brain's not working. My 2023 Pro 4X Nissan Titan for Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville would have been much more comfortable than the floor, and I just realized that, and now that makes me sad.
Oh. It is a Friday. We got the NCAA tournament resuming, or I guess it resumed yesterday, with the first 4 of the Sweet 16 games. We've got 4 more coming up tonight. If you missed Jeremy's picks of the night, you can go back and check that out on the podcast or just, use that little slider right there on the YouTube channel. So you can go back in and get the best bets for the night in the Sweet 16. But we are a football show, and we haven't really had the chance in the last couple of days to dive more into the Lamar Jackson saga that continues here.
And it is a saga.
Yeah, absolutely, because now you got the league getting involved. We told you this just before the show ended yesterday with the NFL sending out a memo to all of the teams in the NFL saying, look, Lamar Jackson has this guy, what's his name, Kevin Francis? Is it Ken Francis?
Ken Francis, what I thought it was. But
yeah. Anyway, this guy is the one that's been calling other teams, trying to get them interested in giving Lamar Jackson the deal that he's looking for. The problem is he's not certified by the league, and so they said, hey, you do realize we went through this with the Roquan Smith thing, but let's reiterate. Any offer sheet that comes because of a connection between this guy who's not certified by the NFLPA and the league, we can just say no, and we will do that.
And then today there was the breaking news that the Baltimore Ravens have officially gotten Lamar the weapon that he has been patiently awaiting.
He's going to be lying. He just can't wait to throw passes to Nelson Agholor.
And I have but just one question. Does Nelson Agholor have, like, dirty pictures of somebody in the NFL? How in the world does he keep getting signed? I mean, am I missing something?
Of all the wide receivers that are on rosters in the NFL, he's not the worst. He's had moments. It's just they haven't been great. I mean, like, he popped for several games when he was in Philly and several games when he was with the Raiders, and he's not great. He's not great. He hasn't been great since the start. He's got potential.
Does he, though? I mean, he's 30 years old.
Not long-term potential, but potential to be a useful piece.
I just can't for the life of me figure out why Baltimore has an aversion to investing anything in wide receivers.
I do not know the answer.
I mean, I've heard they're in on DeAndre Hopkins, but it sounds like he's not in on them.
Because they don't pass enough.
And I get that. But if I trade for you, it doesn't really matter how often I pass. I just don't get it. This is the smartest – well, I can't say the smartest. This is one of the smartest franchises in the league. And I don't know where you're going. You're the next to last team in the NFL to sign a free agent that wasn't on your own roster. Well, the last one left, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ironic that they killed last offseason, and then this year they went, nope, no, sir, I don't like it. And now it's just – it feels like every year – the Baltimore Ravens, whether it was Des Bryant, Deshaun Jackson, now Nelson Agholor, you keep getting these retread wide receivers. Virtually none of them can block.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems to be this giant middle finger at Lamar Jackson. I mean, we talked about this for years with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They'll never spend a first-round pick on a receiver. Then Baltimore does, and they trade him away. Can you figure this team out? Am I the only one just sitting here going, okay, so what's your plan here? Like, if everything goes exactly how you want it to go, what happens next? Do you want a team to sign him to an offer sheet? Because that's probably not going to happen. There's a reason they gave him this tender.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you knew that going in. And I almost feel like this was a leverage play. I said that early on in the process of nobody's going to sign him to an offer sheet, and Baltimore's going to use this as a, see, your market value is not what you thought it was. Meanwhile, that's not 100% accurate because you put all of these addendums onto an offer sheet and then your cap space is tied up, and at any time they can just match it. But do you think they even want him back?
I think they do.
I don't.
Really?
I don't think they want him back.
I would think if you didn't want him back, you wouldn't have.
You're not going to let him walk for nothing.
You wouldn't have signed him.
You're not letting him walk for nothing. So, I mean, the franchise tag was always happening. He was never getting out of that building for nothing. And I just feel like you've gotten nowhere in negotiations on a deal. You've made absolutely no inroads at making this team better. I feel like you're getting left in the dust by the teams in your division. Because the Bengals are better, the Browns are better, the Pittsburgh Steelers are better. Of the 10 winners of free agency, all 3 teams in your division are in that.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done nothing. Well, we finally got in here with Captain Dropsy Pants, Nelson Agholor. I just can't wrap my brain around it.
I can't either. I guess every franchise has to have their Achilles heel. Every franchise has something that they're not good at, and Baltimore is wide receiver. And Eric DeCosta said it. Remember, who was it that got upset? Which one of the receivers was it that got up? Was it Rashad Bateman?
Yes.
That got upset when Eric DeCosta said, look, we haven't had any success, and basically all of our wide receivers are crap, and we'll work on getting better at that. Well, now's the time. Like, you have to figure this out at some point.
The thing I can't physically wrap my brain around this is, what is your plan? Because, all right, let's say he signs the tag. We've compared this to Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott had that 2-year will they, won't they. I never for 1 second doubted that Dallas wanted him to be the quarterback of their franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It was just at their price. I'm doubting that Baltimore wants Lamar Jackson to be their quarterback.
I don't. I think it's the same scenario at the price that we're willing to pay. The difference here is,
well, I
feel like Baltimore's better at this than Dallas is, and Dallas will eventually cave. Baltimore's willing to go all the way to the wire and call your bluff, which is exactly what they've done.
But there's no bluff to call. I mean, all right, so the non-exclusive tag is $31 million. He's not playing for $31 million.
He'll sit out.
I was not convinced of that. I am now convinced of that.
Okay.
I feel like you're damaging this relationship because it's one thing for at our price. Dallas's price, I always felt like was higher than the market. I feel like Baltimore's $10 million a year below the market on Lamar Jackson. If he was a free agent on the market right now, he would not have gotten the fully guaranteed deal he's after. But somebody would have shown up with $250 million over 5 years with $150 million guaranteed. Baltimore is not in the stratosphere of that. So, I mean, there comes a time of, well, your price is so far off of what I'm worth that this is not reconcilable. And that's the more I watch. And the thing that really irks me is that you're not trying to do anything to mend it. It'd be one thing if you had gone to, like, let's say they made the deal for DeAndre Hopkins, which right now I'm being told is for virtually nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a salary dump. They don't want to take any of the money back. They'll give him up for a 4th or 5th round pick. At least then I'm looking at your roster going, you're trying to do something to make this better. You're trying to give him a weapon that he can wrap his brain around and say, this will make me better. And you go get Nelson Agholor. The run-heaviest team in the NFL just brought in probably the worst run-blocking wide receiver in the league. And everything they do to me just seems like giant birds up to Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting less and less convinced that this is going to work itself out.
Well, if it was,
but I just don't know what the end game is outside of Atlanta, which still makes sense to me.
Oh, for where Lamar could land?
Yes, I mean that's, and I feel like this has gotten into the full-on standoff. If you got guns pointed at each other, nobody's planning on firing,
mm-hmm.
but nobody's planning on putting their gun down either. And so, I mean, how long do you carry this out? We're to the last week of March. The draft is in 33 days. How far do you carry this?
I would say draft day has to be the window, right? Like if something's going to happen,
will it shock you if this is not resolved by then?
By then,
see,
no,
this is
because
this is why I
think that weekend is the point.
See, this is why I get into kerfuffles with Packers fans that think they have all this leverage over the Jets. The misconception of leverage is comical to me because you're up against it with the cap, and you have a player that you invested a pick in, and you're going to leave $58 million just sitting against the cap and give that to Jordan Love and say, we gave you the best chance to win. Baltimore has no incentive. I got you for $31 million. You're going absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do anything by draft day. I don't do anything because you have to sign the tag. You have to sign the tag. Don't sign the tag. Totally up to you. I have every ounce of leverage here.
Absolutely.
And I don't see a solution here.
Look, the longer this goes on, to me, this piles up on Lamar more than it does the Baltimore Ravens.
And I guess I would look at it in the same way of at this point, this is the Lamar side is Green Bay, where you have to get the most for the asset because Lamar is the asset.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of look at Baltimore like the Jets. Okay, so if you back out here, I'll just do something else. With Baltimore's Tyler Huntley. With the Jets, it's Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, one of the other slew of veterans. Do I want to do that? No.
But I will.
But will I? But if you force my hand, will I?
Yeah,
I will.
From doing something that could be catastrophic to my organization, yes, I will do whatever it takes. But I'm not going to make that mistake. I mean, if the reports are true that they offered him a 3-year, $133 million guaranteed contract and he scoffed at it, That tells me everything I need to know. Okay, so we'll put
to me, that's low for him.
We'll and maybe it is.
That's low for him on the open market as it sits,
But
if that's your guy.
Right, but if that's what you're after, if you're after fully guaranteed money, you're after a fully guaranteed contract because of the injuries, because, you know, I'm not giving you anything more than 3 years. Definitely.
Yeah.
And Baltimore goes, we'll figure it out. Lamar, I still feel like they would love to have Lamar come back, but they're not going to cripple the franchise for it.
And with every passing day, I become less convinced that they actually want him to.
Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, it'll be the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a warm day, no surprise, we have a warm night in store. We're looking at low temperatures around 59, 60 as we head into Saturday morning, and that is closer to our average high for this time of year. This warmth does add fuel to the storms, and we're tracking storms for tomorrow morning. Right on the edge of severe potential, our greatest threat looks to be gusty winds. On the other side, we are a touch cooler, our highs Saturday mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Rachel Kay with the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 26 westbound between Chimney Rock Road to approaching Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound is stop and go west of Brevard Road to I-40. 26 eastbound stop and go between I-40 and the French Broad River. Again, 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound stop and go between Brevard Road and US 1923 Smoky Park Highway. An accident has one lane closed in this stretch. 40 westbound then crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Brevard Road southbound is crawling between I-26 and Clayton Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is stop and go. An accident reported on Sweeten Creek Road, northbound, near I-40. Hendersonville Road, southbound, slow between Biltmore Forest and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio! What do you mean he went searching for fresher powder? We have full classes today.
Instructor down at Vesper Ski School.
Toward each other to snowplow, honey, not away.
She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. Whoa, Braley, no, pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingles, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingles,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
This is the Sportsocracy, and on a Friday, why not? We can't just not give you the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Let's go to Lincoln, Nebraska for today's story, where, okay, so we tried, we haven't talked to him in a while here live on the air, but we have tried for the last couple of years to get Asheville Police Chief David Zach to adopt a new slogan for the Asheville Police Department, which is...
Don't do crimes.
Exactly. That should be on the side of the vehicles, where it currently says...
Don't do crimes.
To
protect and serve.
Protect and serve, right. That is the law enforcement motto, to protect and serve. So there's a couple of cops in Lincoln, Nebraska that have given new meaning to this. So the crimes involved in this story were, well, there was a guy that got pulled over the other night by these two police officers from Lincoln, and they found out that this guy has a revoked driver's license, which is not good for a man in his line of work because he drives a car for a living. This guy is a DoorDash delivery driver. Well, they found out that he had a revoked license, and when they find that out, they don't just go, okay, well, do better next time, and we'll see you down the road. No, you have to go to jail. They impound your car, send you to jail, process you, all that kind of stuff. Well, the problem was that he was in the middle of a delivery. So what did the cops do? They finished the delivery, which has gotten glowing remarks, obviously, from the customers that were their service was interrupted, I guess you could say, because of the pulling over. But you got to give kudos to, here you go, State Troopers Dusatko and Sporer, heroes of the day, for finishing the DoorDash delivery of this man who is now in jail. He's been released, obviously, with he has to get all that sorted out. And look, you do have to have a valid driver's license to operate a motor vehicle, not only in the state of Nebraska, but in every other state that's out there, regardless of what stupid Facebook video you've seen in the last 5 days. There's a lot of that going around these days. Oh, I don't have to have a driver's license. I'm a sovereign citizen. No. You must have the driver's license. It must be active. And if it's not, you can't do the DoorDash deliveries.
Bob Brown in our YouTube comment said, suggest that Chief Zach put don't do crimes on the school resource officer cruiser.
Yes.
Start small and then build.
Yes.
Totally in.
Problem is the county handles that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, for Asheville City schools, maybe not.
I feel like we at least have somewhere to go.
Somewhere. Yeah.
All right. My story, I'm not going to say I cheated because this is not necessarily crimes, but it should be. I've spent much of my life traveling with jobs that I've had, which means I have spent a lot of time on what? Airplanes.
Yes.
You know who Ashley Brewer is?
No.
She works for ESPN.
Okay.
She's an anchor for ESPN.
Okay.
She is engaged to Houston Rockets forward Frank Kaminsky.
Okay.
Well, a couple weeks ago, she was on a flight from Los Angeles, where she works, to Houston to see him. And she documented her tales. Her flight was delayed for over an hour. She didn't really have a good read on why, but she was sitting very close to the front of the plane. And so she got to see some things, and she started reading tea leaves, and she finally put it together. This is the most millennial thing you'll ever hear in your life. She tweeted, guys, my flight can't take off because 2 flight attendants got in a fight and are now refusing to work together.
No.
Now we're delayed. We're sitting here waiting for them to talk it out. But nope, lady won't budge. Here is what happened. There was a passenger sitting in first class. There was another passenger sitting in coach. They wanted to switch, and give somebody in coach their first class seat so that this person could sit next to their husband.
Okay.
Spouse was in coach. Somehow the other spouse had been upgraded to first class. Whoever's sitting next to my spouse, I will give you my first class seat. Just let us switch. Well, there was a male flight attendant, a female flight attendant. The male, totally fine. Let's do this. This is working out well for you. The person that was in the seat had no problem with it. We're all hunky-dunky. Apparently, the female flight attendant thought this was just the worst idea ever. And no, I'm putting my foot down. I will not do it. Why? I have absolutely no idea.
Doesn't make sense.
I will be honest with you. If I was the one in coach that you weren't letting me go to first class, I would be showing my ignorance and my arse. Because, I know what's up there, and I'm coming. I'm just going to sit in another chair until you figure out that I'm going to sit in that
I've always wanted to find out what's behind that curtain.
In first class? Yeah. You don't want to know. Unless you're going to fly that way for the rest of your life, you don't want to know. So she documented this entire thing. Would you like to know how this ended? They sat on the tarmac for 2.5 hours because the female flight attendant went to the front of the plane and cried, saying that this is a hostile work environment because he didn't do what I wanted him to do. They had to bring in another flight attendant to replace her on the plane because she refused to let them take off.
Check your privilege at the door, honey.
100%.
Wow.
Guess what? I am 36 years old. I am divorced, and I have disliked the vast majority of people I have ever worked with. And I promise you, 90% of them didn't like me. Get over it and do your job.
But Darren disagreed with me, so now I'm going to hold up the lives of hundreds of people.
I understand we live in a world where nobody's ever told you this, but sometimes your opinions are stupid. That felt so good. After I've been awake for 2 solid days, that felt awesome. You know what? I want to start my own.
So what's the crime here?
Oh, they should put the flight attendant in jail, no doubt, 100%.
Okay.
You have to do a weekend in jail and think about what you did. Jeremy Justice.
2.5 hours. They sat on the tarmac.
Yes.
How many people on the plane?
The plane was pretty full.
That's not a real question. I'm just. You take 2.5 hours. You multiply it by the number of, and that's how much community service you have to do.
Not community. Jail.
Jail time.
Jail.
She just lock her up. Lock her up. Lock her up.
I mean, look, I just, in this segment, I have had a great idea of Judge Jeremy. I think this is a phenomenal idea.
Sloan Jordan asked the obvious question. I mean, she's definitely fired, right?
I mean, in this world, who knows? She probably got promoted. She probably runs Delta Airlines.
She's now a coordinator for the stewards. Is that?
I don't know. The only PC in my life is the one sitting in front of me that's powering this show. I want to. I had never thought of that until just now. Jeremy Justice, you have some form of disagreement. You bring it to me.
There you go.
The only rule is that you both parties have to agree to abide by my ruling.
Sounds like a TV show.
All the way in. Let's do this.
Mullet Justice. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yes. Do I get a robe? I already have a gavel.
The mullet magistrate? You know I love alliteration.
Everything with you has to start with the same letter. No, I think mullet justice is a grand idea.
All right. You know what else is a grand idea? Parched Madness. Parched Madness, a grand idea each and every year. As the March Madness is upon us, the NCAA basketball tournament, we come up with our very own tournament of greatness that we call Parched Madness. And this year, it's the greatest of all time professional wrestler. We have 80 professional wrestlers in this bracket. It's been, as I've said several times today, it's been a busy week. So where do we stand right now with the bracket?
Okay, so we're going to put out polls to kind of trim the bracket down, because this is one of those things where we got real aggressive. And we have a great budget on this show, and we have great toys and things, but I have not been in this seat minus this show for the vast majority of the week. So we need to trim this field down to get it down the ways a little bit. So we're going to be putting out one-on-one matchups, every one-on-one matchup, all 32 in the first round. Some of them are playing games. Some of them will have to do 2 polls. That second set will be on Monday. So you'll have all weekend long to vote in these polls across our social medias. However you want to vote, totally up to you. Tuesday, we will unveil the 32 remaining, the 16 matchups remaining. I feel like you and I went a little too aggressive in the selection committee.
We couldn't help ourselves.
I know. I'm aware of that. But as the guy that has to sit here and painstakingly render these things down, we got too aggressive.
Right, because
okay?
once you get down to trying to determine who deserves to be in the bracket, is it Bam Bam Bigelow or the British Bulldog? We went, let's just put them both in.
All of them deserve to be in. They were great entertainers and an integral part of my childhood.
Right.
So over the weekend, there will be social media polls where you will see each wrestler. They'll be able to vote. They will be on Facebook predominantly. I will try to get them across Twitter. The problem with Twitter is that you only have 2 actions. So it will be a little heart emoji for A, and a like for B.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do that all weekend long. Winners get into next week, and next week is going to be a better week. This was a great week, too. It's just there was a lot of stuff to do.
Absolutely. So the greatest of all-time professional wrestlers bracket is still a thing, and we will get to the next level of this over the weekend. So the play-in games, which will feature 13 seeds to 16 seeds,
yes,
going up against each other. We will slot those into the brackets for the round of 64.
Yes.
Which starts Tuesday, correct?
The round of 32 starts Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So we will pair those last. Because let's be really honest. All right. I don't feel like we need more than 24 hours for, hey, who wins between Hacksaw Jim Duggan and The Rock? I think we can cut that down in just nary a minute or two.
Mm-hmm. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And you can follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. That's where the voting will be done.
Absolutely. And many of you today have taken the opportunity.
There's no laws in this place. Anything goes. It's Thunderdome.
To join the House of Reprehensibles, which apparently if we tell you how to do it, it makes it more likely that you're gonna. And one of our longtime listeners, Bo Walker, has joined the House of Reprehensibles. We are glad to have you, Bo. You and your lovely better half, Karen. We haven't said that name on the show in a long time, and glad to see you around Mr. Walker.
Indeed. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Once you're through to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and once you're subscribed, then the join button should come up right next to it, unless you're on an iPhone, and then just follow the link in the YouTube chat.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm reasonably convinced that the join button on Apple products, like all things with Apple products, was intended to drive you crazy and break your phone, so you'll buy another one. It's the exact same thing as the one you just...
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound stop and go between Bavard Road and I-40. 26 eastbound slow between I-40 and Bavard Road. Again, 26 eastbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound stop and go between Bavard Road and the Smoky Park Highway. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side, light delays between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road, north and southbound crawling, approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Just a couple of moments left in the program for the week.
In quite possibly the longest day that has ever happened.
But, hey, here's a good thing. We got a short week coming up next week, so...
Yes, next week the Atlanta Braves start here on the ESPN airwaves, so there will be days where you don't have us, but don't fret. We have scheduled out the entire season for the Braves, so we know every day that we're not going to have a show.
Yes.
The days we don't have a show, there will be new content that comes out at 3 o'clock. You just won't be able to talk to us live. I mean, in the chat, maybe one of us will be in there.
And the first of those interruptions comes Thursday for opening day.
What could we possibly put out on April the 30th or March the 30th? 3-round mock draft. Let's go.
There we go.
Everybody's asked me when's the next full mock draft coming. That's when.
That's when. All right, so next Thursday at 3 o'clock, we will not be live on the air. We'll have 3-round mock draft for you to consume in our absence. Look, I get that we're a football show, but I am so excited about tonight's Sweet 16 games in the NCAA tournament.
I'm not going to lie. I ordered a bucket of chicken for me to pick up on the way home.
Yes.
So I can be there at 6:30.
That is a great idea.
I
wish I'd have thought of it.
I'm not going to lie. I almost Uber Eats'd it, but I felt bad about sending somebody from Fairview Road to here because this one doesn't do Uber Eats.
Did you order a double down?
Oh, yes, I did.
Just for dessert?
Well, it's going to get eaten. I can't tell you anything else in that's going to go in my face, but that double donut. I hadn't had one of those in years. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. First game tonight, Alabama, San Diego State, 6:30. Miami, Houston, Princeton, Creighton, and the nightcapper, Xavier and Texas.
I would be remiss if on the way out we didn't say another great big congratulations to Cowboy John Roten on his retirement. He has been amazingly good to me over the years because I don't know if you figured this out or not. I don't know much about radio. And he has always been my sounding board of, hey, Tank's not here, and I don't know how to do this. So congratulations on your retirement. Enjoy your new life with your lovely bride. I was glad to be a part of that this morning. If you'd like to check that out, you can find it on the 570 WWNC Facebook page. And many, many happy years to John and Betty Roten.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a warm day, no surprise, we have a warm night in store. We're looking at low temperatures around 59, 60 as we head into Saturday morning, and that is closer to our average high for this time of year. This warmth does add fuel to the storms, and we're tracking storms for tomorrow morning. Right on the edge of severe potential, our greatest threat looks to be gusty winds. On the other side, we are a touch cooler, our highs Saturday mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Rachel Kay with the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound, stop and go between Bavard Road and I-40. 26 eastbound, slow between I-40 and Bavard Road. Again, 26 eastbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound stop and go between Brevard Road and the Smoky Park Highway. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side, light delays between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road, north and southbound crawling approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.